the 1980 National League Championship Series.
Here's Greg Luzinski. Runner goes. High drive, deep left field. This ball is gone.
Forget it. Ball is hit to the right side in the hole. Base hit. Here comes Terry Poole around third. The throw to the plate. Poole steams across and scores.
Cruz is just a solid ball player.
Fly ball line to shallow left. Luzinski. Here comes Lane to score. The throw way off the mark. The Astros win it. Hit down the left field line toward the corner. It's bouncing off the wall. Fielded by Cruz. Here comes Rose around third. It'll take a perfect play. The throw to the plate gets away from Bucci.
He looked like Roberto Duran coming in.
A one-strike pitch. Trio, a line drive, fair ball, left field line. Matty Trio at third and triple. What a comeback by this great bunch of Phillies.
Up the middle is Harper. Base hit. Here comes the tying run around third. And we're even at 7.
Pitch on the way to Maddox. Line drive, center field, sinking, base hit. That ball's in play. The Phillies lead it 8-7. The windup by Ruthven. Here's a punch shot to center field. Maddox racing over. He catches the ball. Phillies win the pennant. The Phillies have won the pennant.
Between the uniforms, the artificial turf, Keith Jackson and Howard Cosell, how fun was that to watch?
In a collision at home plate, which we don't see any longer in Major League Baseball, it had it all.
Yeah, it really did. We can only hope that this series, that's the only other time the Astros and the Phillies have met in the playoffs, and it truly was one of the all-time dramatic playoff series.
Went 5 games, and some people think this one has a legitimate shot to go 6 or 7.
Well, I think it does too. So now the players are really counting down, and it's a perfect time for us to get Dan's breakdown position by position comparing these two teams.
Hey, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Who has the edge between the two teams? We're going to start in left field. We've got 2 guys that can hit the ball in the ballpark, in Schwarber and Yordan Alvarez. We're going to give the edge to Alvarez. Look at that Thunder. 37 home runs, 97 runs batted in. Center field, kind of a toss-up. You got Brandon Marsh and Chas McCormick. We're going to go slight edge Phillies, and Brandon Marsh a little bit more athletic. He can knock in some runs, 52 on the year. Right field, big edge to the Astros. Kyle Tucker putting it all together. 30 home runs, 107 runs knocked in, though this Castellanos has swung the bat a lot better the second half of the season. Third base, this is a big edge to the Astros, even though Alec Bohm has gotten a lot better defensively. Alex Bregman is swinging the bat really well right now, and he's battle-tested in the postseason. Shortstops, 2 young shortstops. Jeremy Pena has had a wonderful postseason so far. You look at the 22 home runs, 63 runs batted in. Big edge right now to the Astros. Second base, on paper, it looks a lot closer. I'm going to give the slight edge to Jose Altuve, though Gene Segura has a knack for coming up with some big 2-out base hits. First base, I think this is a big edge, mainly because of defense. Yuri Gurriel, you see the home run numbers down on the year, but the guy can hit and he plays well in the month of October. Then we go to the behind the dish, JT Realmuto and Martin Maldonado. A lot of people in baseball think Realmuto is the best. Catch, throw, everything all combined at big edge. This is the biggest edge, in my opinion, for the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper is playing like a man possessed. He's hit in the postseason. Trey Mancini acquired at the deadline. Huge edge for the Phillies. Then we get to the breakdown. Who has the edge between the Phillies and the Astros? We're going to give offensive edge to the Phillies. They have a lot of thunder in that lineup, particularly for the left side. No doubt about this one. Rotation, depth for the Houston Astros. Bullpen, big edge to the Astros. They're deep. They run a lot of guys out there to throw 95 to 100. Defense, another one here in favor of the Astros. They catch the ball. They're battle-tested in the month of October. Bench, slight edge to the Phillies. They have some left-handed pop that they have on the bench. And the manager, we're going to go with Dusty Baker just because he's had several tries in the postseason. This is his best chance to win a World Series championship.
A really good comparison and a good breakdown of why the Phillies are considered underdogs here in the 118th World Series. We've got starting lineups and the first pitch from Houston, Texas. The World Series about to get started. Coming up next. All right, here we go from Minute Maid Park in Houston. Game 1 of the 2022 World Series just about to get started. Dave Fleming, Dan Plesac, great to have you with us. Let's take a look at the lineups for the Philadelphia Phillies. And the power starts right away. Kyle Schwarber led the National League in home runs. He's the Phillies' leadoff hitter. Rhys Hoskins has had a great playoffs. JT Realmuto, arguably the best catcher in the game. And Bryce Harper has performed like a superstar in the postseason and an amazing National League Championship Series. Castellanos, Bryson Stott, Gene Segura has had a lot of big hits for the Phillies, and Brandon Marsh, excellent defensive center fielder, left-handed hitter. He will bat ninth for Philadelphia. The Phillies lineup has been potent, it's been powerful, and the home run ball has been a big reason for their success. And that's the lineup that Justin Verlander is going to have to face. He and the Astros take the field here. And it is remarkable. 39 years old. This will be the 12th time in his playoff career that Justin Verlander has gotten the ball in a game 1 of a series. Nobody's ever pitched more games 1s than this guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. This guy is a 9-time All-Star, 2-time American League Cy Young Award winner. You take a look at his regular season statistics, and they're awful impressive. Look at that ERA, 1.75. The kryptonite, we touched on it earlier in the open, Dave. He has 7 career starts in the World Series. He's 0-6 with an ERA over 5. So a guy that has been as reliable as it comes as far as pitching wise has had his struggles in the World Series.
Yeah, it's not that he's always pitched poorly, but that 0 in the win column for him has been a big storyline. Justin Verlander, he doesn't know how many more chances he's going to get to pitch in a World Series. He wants a World Series victory.
Yeah, let's take a look at the pitch arsenal. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. He can still get it up there 95 to 96 miles an hour. He'll throw the four-seamer about 50% of the time. A really good slider. He likes to throw it down and into lefties, down and away to righties. He'll use the curveball. And changeup is a good one. He doesn't throw it as frequently as he used to. He's kind of adapted his style of pitching. And if you'd wondered if he would come all the way back from Tommy John surgery at 39 years of age, he's back and he might be better than ever.
I mean, he still throws hard. We'll see some 97s, a few 98s, maybe even a 99 out of the 39-year-old.
You know, you go back to like 2010, 2011, and that when he first came up to the big leagues, you know, we marveled at the fact that he would start a game 94, 95. And as the game went on, his velocity increased. It wasn't uncommon for Justin Verlander to be throwing triple digits in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. He's not quite back to that level yet, but he's a solid pitcher. I expect him to pitch well tonight.
He did not pitch particularly well in his first playoff start this year against Seattle. Much better in game 1 against the Yankees.
Which was a little bit of a surprise because he was so good down the stretch, but something tells me he'll bring his A game in game 1.
So his 8th career World Series start, still looking for that first World Series win. And here we go. The roof is closed, which does make it a little louder and maybe allows the ball to carry a little better.
Yeah, you know what's amazing is the success that Justin Verlander's had since coming to this ballpark. A very hitter-friendly ballpark, but that's what good pitching will do. It'll make a good offensive ballpark play small.
So Verlander was all ready to go, and then there was a door open. And so Chas McCormick, the center fielder, said, you know what, I'll take care of that, ace. Slams that gate shut, and we open the door to the 2022 World Series in Houston. Kyle Schwarber stands in against Verlander. And the World Series gets started with a called strike on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, that's what Justin Verlander's done so well this second go-round post Tommy John. 2 fastballs. He'll throw the four-seamer up anywhere 94 to 97. And also throw that 2-seamer down in the zone.
Not a big batting average for Kyle Schwarber, but huge, massive power from the left-handed hitter. And that's strike 2. First pitch fastball, second pitch changeup. When you face the Phillies, you don't get to ease into things. The home run leader in the National League leads off for this Philadelphia team. Verlander, time at home plate. Overshift on for Schwarber, no surprise.
I'll get a good look at it because it doesn't look like you'll be seeing that in 2023.
Last World Series with the full overshift. Schwarber drives one deep down the right field line, but he hooked it all the way up off the facing of the upper deck, but very much a foul ball.
We had a chance to talk with Rob Thompson, the manager of the Phillies, before the game. And I know you asked him a question, why he's swinging the bat so well. He just said when he gets his time and he gets his rhythm and he gets locked in, he can be awful scary. Put a good pass on that one.
Shortened up the stroke a little bit in between the division series and the NLCS. Seemed to pay off. That one high with the fastball. The home run he hit in San Diego, 488 feet. One of the longest postseason home runs anybody could remember.
And hit it off of a fellow teammate in Yu Darvish. They played together with the Cubs.
Only Aaron Judge more home runs than Kyle Schwarber. 1-2. He held up.
Did he go?
He did not go, according to the third base umpire in game one. That's Jordan Baker. James Hoy is our home plate umpire tonight for game one. I think generally considered to have a rule book strike zone.
Good look at that last fastball up in the zone. That high fastball, so much in play now in Major League Baseball. Pitchers trying to go up out of the zone.
Schwarber against the breaking ball and fouled it back.
One of the things since he's come back from Tommy John surgery, that'd be Justin Verlander. He'll throw more four-seamers up in the strike zone. When in his early days with the Tigers, he worked down in the zone and progressively worked his way up when he's ahead of the count. But it's by design. He'd like to get that ball preferably right at about chest level or above to Kyle Schwarber.
Seventh pitch of the at bat. Long battle between Verlander and Schwarber. Schwarber takes strike three called, and he knew it.
A lot of weapons in the arsenal of Justin Verlander. He knows how to use them well. Backs up that high fastball out of the zone with a slider down and in a great pitch.
So Schwarber made him throw 7 pitches, but he's out number 1. And up comes Rhys Hoskins, who has had an incredible postseason, the ups and the downs. But lately, a lot of ups. He's been hitting for huge power. Rhys Hoskins takes the curve inside, ball 1. 5 home runs, 11 batted in the playoffs for the Phillies, and 30 regular season home runs. Right against right, and he skies that one into shallow center field. Chas McCormick out there all alone. 2 down.
Pretty good sign if you're Justin Verlander. Get a big strikeout of Schwarber to start the game in a couple of pitches. You get Hoskins to pop up. So far, the good fastball elevated up in the strike zone for Verlander.
I think most people would say the Astros have a clear defensive advantage in this series. You got some Gold Glove winners. McCormick's done a nice job sort of stabilizing the center field position for Houston. Phillies have gotten better on defense as the year's gone on. So that should be an edge for the Astros. Not at the catcher's position, though. Martin Maldonado is outstanding, but JT Realmuto's just a great all-around player.
Yeah, you go back a few years ago when they signed JT Realmuto to that long-term contract. A lot of people in baseball think he's the best combination of power, speed, catch and throw guy. He's probably the closest thing. Doesn't quite have the power that Buster Posey had, but he's that kind of offensive player.
Call the ball. Verlander wanted that curveball. It's 2-0.
Another look at this breaking ball. Martin tries to sell it, pull that ball back up in the strike zone.
Maldonado, one of the great pitch framers in the game. Extremely trusted part of this Astros team. Verlander misses high. It's 3-0. You got Bryce Harper looming on deck. So if Realmuto can reach base, then Bryce Harper gets a chance to hit with a runner on in the first inning.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they turn him loose here. 3-0. You've got Harper on deck. I think the last thing you want to do if you're Justin Verlander, face Harper the first time with somebody on base, you'd like to start him in a clean inning.
3-0. Realmuto didn't look like he was looking to swing because that one was right down the middle. And I think that's kind of the theory of giving a guy the green light is, hey, be ready if he throws a fastball right out over the heart of the plate. Some hitters are more comfortable with that than others. Still a good hitter's count, 3-1. And that's strike 2. Got the call that time.
Yeah, really good pitch on the outer edge. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He brings back in. You can see it just catches that outer quadrant.
Two down from 3-0 to 3-2. Verlander. Real Muto, line drive to right field. Kyle Tucker is there to make the catch. Out number 3. 39-year-old Justin Verlander, in search of his first career World Series ring, puts up a 0 in the top of the first. The Astros will hit in the bottom of the first when we come back. Well, the Phillies do not score in the top of the first, and so now game 1 of this 2022 World Series. The Astros will come up for the first time. The American League champions Jose Altuve hitting leadoff, all the postseason success he's had. Jeremy Pena turning into a star. First-year rookie shortstop, batting second. Yordan Alvarez, one of the great hitters in the game. Alex Bregman, the track record he's got. Kyle Tucker, Yuli Gurriel, Trey Mancini, the DH for game 1. McCormick in center field. Maldonado, the catcher, batting ninth against the right-hander for the Phillies, Aaron Nola.
Yeah, Aaron Nola's had a really solid year. His last one was a little bit of a clunker. Game 2 of the League Championship Series against the Padres, a strike thrower. You take a look at the innings pitched, 205 innings pitched. I think the thing that jumps out, look at the strikeout to walk ratio. 235 strikeouts on the year, only 29 walks. Strike thrower.
Historically great strike throwing season for Aaron Nola. Every once in a while can make him a little vulnerable, because he is going to be around the plate.
I think one of the keys for him is establishing the curveball. I think that's his best pitch. If he can nail that curveball and land it 1-0, 2-1 in fastball counts, he should pitch well.
And he throws strike 1, a fastball right on the outside to Jose Altuve, who's had a miserable playoffs after a great regular season, one of his best seasons ever.
I think what helps him also hurts him. He's one of the best bad ball hitters in the game of baseball. But he's been repeatedly in the postseason like that, chasing pitches out of the strike zone. And I think right now, if I'm game planning for the Phillies, if I'm Aaron Nola, try not to throw this guy a strike. Let him get himself out. He likes to swing. Very rarely will he take 2 pitches in a row. And there's a pretty good chance if Aaron Nola can bounce a breaking ball right here, he could get a swing and a miss.
He finally got a few hits against the Yankees. He started off the playoffs 0 for 25. Altuve doesn't chase that one. It's 1-2.
You know, for a little guy, and he stands so far off the plate, you get a look at it when he gets into the batter's box. That down and away quadrant looks so inviting to hit. You see where he stands for a small guy with that open stance. What pitchers are trying to do is just nail that outside corner.
Nola came in, and Altuve fouled it off. He loves game 1. Of course, I mean, he's got the second most postseason home runs in baseball history. Forget what game it is, but game 1 tied with Manny Ramirez for the most all time.
And you know, Dave, we can make him so difficult to pitch to that he's such a good bad ball hitter that he'll hit pitches out of the strike zone. He's the closest thing that I think I've seen in a while since Kirby Puckett, a good bad ball hitter.
Aaron Nola ahead 1-2. Altuve chases and strikes out swinging. So Aaron Nola gets the strikeout to start his World Series career. This is his first World Series start.
Boy, this was a pitch sequence right here. Fastball in, right? What that does, it makes Altuve aware of the ball inside. So now he wants to get the head of the bat. Then look at him. Front part is gone, swinging with all arms. Great sequence there. Fastball in, curveball down and away.
And it was a great reaction from JT Real Muto, wasn't it? After that fastball in, pointed right out to Nola. That was exactly the pitch he wanted him to make. That's strike 1 to Jeremy Pena. Pena had the incredibly weighty task of replacing Carlos Correa at shortstop for this franchise, and he did it. He pulled it off. This is the first time in the history of the World Series we've had 2 rookies starting at shortstop.
In game 4, Nestor Cortez looked like he was off to a really good start. Hit the big 3-run home run to bring the Astros, put him right back in that game.
He's had some of the biggest hits for Houston all playoffs long. I mean, Carlos Correa's rookie season, now he was 20 years old, so there is big difference, 20 versus 24. Otherwise, the numbers are pretty darn similar. It's one thing that's been remarkable about this era of Astros baseball. Well, took that one outside from Nola. George Springer moves on. Garrett Cole moves on. Carlos Correa moves on. This is the moment that you were talking about that got the Astros right back in that game.
Cut fastball, and he was looking for it in, and Nestor Cortez was kind of wiggling in and out of damage the first couple innings, and that was a huge swing, brought the Astros right back into that game.
Kind of felt inevitable from there. That strike 3 call got the low strike, the fastball, 2 down.
Yeah, if you're wondering if Aaron Nola, how he's going to be in his first World Series appearance, Philly fans loving it here deep in the heart of Texas. A good fastball, 95, it just paints the corner. Bullseye, dots the glove from Real Muto.
I think it's a good point. Justin Verlander's got all this playoff experience. Aaron Nola's been a great pitcher for a lot of years, but this is his first postseason and his first World Series game.
You know, he reminds me a lot so much of a lefty they have on their rotation, Ranger Suarez. He just, nothing rattles Aaron Nola, just calm and cool and collected, and very rarely shows physically, anyway, outwardly, that he's nervous or intimidated.
Ball. Just misses with that curveball to Yordan Alvarez, the intimidating designated hitter / left fielder. Game 1, he's out in the field for the Astros. Incredible numbers this year. Missed some time, but I think basically any way you break it down, he was the second best hitter in the game this year after Aaron Judge.
No question about it. He has power to all fields. What makes him so dangerous here, the short Crawford boxes in left field, he can take a ball away, and he's so strong he can flick the ball 340 feet and hit it into those seats.
Took a huge cut there at that fastball away, maybe trying to do just that.
You know, Dusty Baker told us before the game he thought, particularly the last series against the Yankees, they were trying to crowd him. That's a pitch normally when he's swinging well, he doesn't foul that one off. He drives that ball to left field. He felt that the Yankees were throwing fastballs, trying to crowd him in, soft stuff away, letting him try to get himself out.
Ball. Just inside at 95 miles an hour, so Alvarez ahead 3-1.
And if you're Aaron Nola right now, you have to almost treat this like, hey, I've got a base open. It's not the worst thing in the world. You just can't lay a cookie into this one here.
Because those fans out in right field are hoping for a baseball. Alvarez takes ball 4. Not real close. First base runner of game 1 of this World Series.
We're going to look at Aaron Nola and what he brings to the table. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. He's got a 3-pitch, 4-pitch arsenal. Use the 4-seamer, and he'll throw it a lot. Knuckle curveball is his best pitch. He'll throw it about 27% of the time. Good sinker, really good changeup. He'll use the cutter, but he'll use it primarily to lefties. 5 pitches, and he knows how to use them. More importantly, when he's on, strike throwing.
And it does make you think that he just didn't want to mess around with Alvarez very much, because you pointed out the incredible strikeout to walk ratio, how few walks he issues, and the pitches that were not strikes to Alvarez were not close, and really the one he swung at wasn't close. Ball off the outside there to Alex Bregman.
And that's why I think this makes Bregman the most important guy in this lineup. I would be surprised, I don't know how long this series is going to go, but Yordan Alvarez is not going to get very many good pitches to hit, which means he's going to be on first base quite a bit. And if Bregman has a big series, he could knock in quite a few runs.
Astros want to make the Phillies pay if that's the way they're going to pitch to their superstar. Bregman goes after that fastball. That was a pitch to hit. It's 1-1.
One of the things you have to be careful with Bregman, he's really quick, short arms, and he's, especially with 2 strikes, he'll choke up on the bat a little bit. If you're going to throw that fastball in, you've got to really get it in off the plate. He's very quick on the inner third.
And these 2 guys, part of the storyline of this World Series, Aaron Nola, Alex Bregman, they were teammates, they were roommates in college, not that far from here in Houston. Baton Rouge at LSU. Bregman pops it up. Left side of the diamond. Bohm and Stott. It'll be the third baseman, Alec Bohm, who makes the catch. And we are through inning number 1. Scoreless with the Phillies coming up when we come back, and Bryce Harper leading off. Well, we're about to witness the first World Series at bat in Bryce Harper's career. He has had an incredible postseason.
He really has, and this is what he came to the Philadelphia Phillies for. You take a look at it, he has 8 hits, 3 singles, 3 doubles, and 2 big home runs. None bigger than the last swing of the bat to send the Phillies to the World Series. Dynamic player. A lot of people, eyebrows were raised that 13-year, $330 million contract. But up to this point, it looks like money well spent for the Phillies.
Just that one swing paid for a whole lot of that contract, all in one fell swoop. If it ended right now for him, and the Phillies are thinking it's not ending for Bryce Harper, 6th highest OPS in a playoffs all time coming into game 1. And he takes a vicious cut at a high fastball for strike 1.
Yeah, he's up there to do some damage right now. He's feeling really good about himself. You know, when Harper's good, he'll start hitting the ball primarily to left center field.
He has been using the opposite field even more than usual in these playoffs. He's been getting pitched away a lot. We'll see if the Astros change that. Harper, fastball, strike 2. What a matchup, Verlander against Harper.
Boy, just some country hardball right there. Rear back, let it go. First one 96, followed it back up with 94.
5 home runs, and the Phillies sure hope he's going to add to that total here in the World Series. Behind in the count, though, 0-2 against Verlander. He's waiting to get the pitch he wants, and he waited so long that Harper asked for time. Harper strikes out swinging on the high fastball.
Well, not an easy thing to do, throw 3 fastballs back to back to back by Bryce Harper, but that's just what Justin Verlander did. Take a look at the pitch sequence right here. First one 93 up in the zone. Another one 94 mile an hour, little tailing action. Backs it up with 95. Coming right at Bryce Harper.
That was telling. How aggressive Justin Verlander was. Now Nick Castellanos kind of knee buckled on that curveball, but it was high for a ball.
Yeah, the first couple of months of the season were really a struggle for Nick Castellanos. Look at the regular season. Normally this guy's a 285, 290 hitter. Really struggled. Philly fans were on him pretty good going into June and July. Second half of the season, though, he really picked it up.
Pops this one up. Fastball on the outside corner. That's Gurriel in the shallow outfield grass for out number 2. So 2 down. Justin Verlander has retired the first 5 Phillies of this World Series. I think there is a question. We have 4 full days off from the end of the league championship series for both teams. I mean, it's even on both sides, but I think especially for hitters, whether all that downtime, you can have simulated games and live batting practice and whatever else you want, but whether that would have an impact early in this series.
And I think particularly for everyday players, when they're swinging the bat really well, they don't want any days off. That's one of the things this game of baseball. You do the same thing, repeat it over and over again. Get into that routine that most position players love, that routine of live action, live games. It's hard to replicate that, duplicate that in an inter-squad game or heading like live BP.
Strike 1 on the foul ball to Alec Bohm. Verlander got through Harper. He got through Castellanos. Now we're trying to retire the third baseman. Player that Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, is very proud of. Curveball bounced toward third, but it's a foul ball. Because Alec Boehm, not only was he not playing well, Phillies fans were on him. He was obviously frustrated. Kind of emblematic of this whole Phillies team. He just found a way to flip a switch and got better as the year went on.
Yeah, and that guy you're looking at right now, Rob Thompson's done a marvelous job. Joe Girardi was let go in the month of May. He took over a team that was really kind of going backwards, really. Bullpen was in shambles, making a lot of errors, but boy, they've turned it around and they played well for Rob Thompson.
0-2. Boehm, another foul ball.
You know, Boehm was caught on Mike, made a couple of errors in one game, and the Philly fans were on him. He used some language he would like to take back, but it's pretty cool. And around Philadelphia, they have shirts that with Alec Boehm, you know, I hate this blank, blank, blank place.
Some of the numbers showing you the turnaround. Rob Thompson, the Phillies, as soon as they made the change, they won 8 games in a row. I mean, it didn't take any time for the turnaround to happen. Verlander fields a comebacker, and that's a 9-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for the Astros ace. No score, middle of the second from Minute Maid Park in Houston. Game 1 of the 2022 World Series.
And the Astros were built for 2017.
Astros headed back to the World Series. Jose Altuve, a walk-off 2-run homer. Astros win the pennant.
Just an electric atmosphere here in Houston.
Third splendid news. The Houston Astros break out the broom from the Bronx, and they're headed back to the World Series for the 4th time in 6 years.
4th World Series appearance in 6 seasons. 6 straight years they've been in that American League Championship Series. A sustained run of excellence. Only the one World Series title so far. Looking for number 2.
Looking for number 2, and Dusty, the Astros, he's kind of restored some calm and peace. I think this is Dusty Baker's best chance because, quite honestly, they've had some good teams, but this is by far the best pitching they've had. Rotation, bullpen depth in about a good 6-7 years.
Offense maybe as a whole down a little bit for this particular version of the Astros. Still a really good offensive team, but the pitching has just been otherworldly. 106 wins in the regular season. Aaron Nola missed outside, now hits the corner for strike 1 to Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, and to your point, having George Springer in center field, Carlos Correa at shortstop, this was a team that they could really score some runs. Not that, listen, they're a good offensive team now, but I agree with you. They were a potent offensive team a couple of seasons ago.
Scoreless here in the bottom of the second. Tucker's had a mostly quiet playoffs. That's not quiet. A high drive to deep right field, and the Astros have the first run of the game. Kyle Tucker goes deep. It's 1-0. Second home run these playoffs for Kyle Tucker, who had a great year. Yuli Gurriel, first pitch swing, keeps the ball rolling for the Astros. A little base hit into center field.
Yeah, that's a really good sign for the Astros. Yordan Alvarez have been quiet. The guy you're looking at, Kyle Tucker, has been really quiet so far, particularly the series against the Yankees in League Championship Series. A cut fastball inner third, and he doesn't miss it. Barrels it up. Look at him keep his hands inside right there. Hits it right off the barrel. 30 home runs during the regular season. A lot of people in baseball think he might be the most improved outfielder in either league.
Great base runner. He'll steal a base for you. Good defensive player and all that power. Kyle Tucker with a World Series home run. 1-0 Houston. Still nobody out. Gurriel at first. Trey Mancini standing in for the first time. Astros have gotten almost no offense from their DH spot in these playoffs.
Yeah, you saw the throw over there too at first base. One of the things Aaron Nola, you can run on him. Teams are a little afraid to run because of JT Realmuto behind home plate, but a courtesy toss over there to keep Gurriel close.
That's a strike to Mancini. Realmuto is just, his transition time is so good. His arm is so strong. There's nobody in the game who gets the ball from home to second base quicker.
Yeah, that pop time, he can catch it and throw it on the run too. And Gene Segura is a real good tagger too at second base. He'll take that throw and get in front of the bag.
0-1. Ball. Call the ball.
Pretty good right there at the top of the heap. JT Realmuto, 1.82. Pretty good pop time. The best in the sport right now.
All you got to do if you're a Phillies pitcher is just give him a chance. Hard team to run against because of that. 1-1. Good swing by Mancini. Had a pitch to hit. 1-2.
I think if you're a Phillies right now, this is one of the things you don't want to do. You don't want to fall behind early, particularly in this ballpark. You want to try to ice the crowd, take the crowd out of it. Most of the people here at Minute Maid are on their feet right now. They're kind of smelling blood early.
Well, you fall behind Houston. As great as their starting pitching is in the playoffs, their bullpen has been untouchable. Gurriel has not been caught. He doesn't run often, but picks his spots. He's 9 for 9 stealing bases between the regular season and the postseason. Nola's 1-2. Mancini laid off the curve. Long distinguished career with the Orioles. Traded around the deadline here to Houston. And an inspirational guy, cancer survivor. One of the most well-liked people in the game, Trey Mancini, getting a chance to play in the World Series. He goes down swinging against that Nola curveball.
Yeah, that was a really good curveball from Nola. That's the pitch he's going to need. After a couple of pitches in, you can see as Mancini way off base, just flailing at it all arms. Big part of the game right here for Aaron Nola. You got Justin Verlander on the mound. It looks really sharp through 2 innings. Don't want to let it get away from you here. As you touched on, one of the strengths of this Astros team is that depth and length that they have in that bullpen. They just unleashed one good reliever, one after another after another.
So now Chas McCormick, his first at bat here in this World Series. Takes the curve outside.
You know, the amazing part, the Astros haven't lost a game yet in the playoffs, and they really haven't gotten much from the guys that you would expect. Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, and Kyle Tucker have been, for the most part, quiet. The guys like Chas McCormick has been swinging the bat well. A couple of big home runs in the postseason.
Kyle Tucker with a home run here to put the Astros ahead. That one spins right in there for a strike. Oh, the depth of the Astros has been in play. The bottom of their order has been productive. McCormick, who's got some real power. 2 home runs in the playoffs, 14 home runs in the regular season. Maldonado, their 9th place hitter. McCormick's power often is to right field. Wow, opposite field approach from Chas McCormick. He hits that one to right field, base hit. Not a home run. Gurriel going to turn around second and dig for third, and he'll make it there. The throw gets cut off. First and third, Astros only 1 away.
Not much you can do there if you're Aaron Nola. You make a good pitch. A fastball that was in, and I mean it was in off the plate. more than likely would have been called a ball, but he's just so strong he muscles it out. You touched on it. McCormick likes to hit the ball to right field. Look at this heater. It's in, and I mean way in. Probably on the line of the right-handed batter's box. See, he catches it halfway down the barrel. That big hole there on the right side makes it easy for Gurriel to go first to third.
I don't think he had any idea where the ball was. McCormick hit it and didn't know where it was. He'll take it. He's got a World Series hit. So a mound meeting with JT Realmuto, the rest of the Phillies infielders, and Aaron Nola. Astros threatening to open this game up a little bit. Kyle Tucker's home run got it started. Now a couple of singles with Maldonado coming up. .15 home runs, so the batting average 186. Not on base a lot, but he can do some damage still. Great defensive player, and with the speed out there at first and third, there are some options for Dusty Baker and the Astros if they want to push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. You would think the Phillies, they're kind of playing about halfway. I think with a ground ball, they'd like to turn the double play. Maldonado doesn't run all that well, but I think on a sharp hit ball, particularly the first or third, I think they're going to try to go ahead and cut that lead run off. You know, when you're in a game against Justin Verlander, who is really locked in through 2 innings, really can ill afford to give up too many runs.
So 1 out. Nola trying to get through this bottom of the second. 1-0 Astros. The 0-1. That's a ball.
Thank you.
Chas McCormick's got enough speed where if he takes off, JT Realmuto would have a decision to make. Do you throw down? Gurriel, pretty daring base runner himself at third. Maldonado swings through that curveball, strike 2.
Yeah, and that's really been the pitch for Aaron Nola. He needs that. That's his best pitch, the curveball. You know, you hate to get greedy. In a perfect world, you'd like to be able to roll up a ground ball for a potential double play ball. But if you're Aaron Nola right now, you almost have to get a little bit greedy. You see him on the side of that curveball right there. That good 12-6 rotation. Perfect world if he could land another one down there and possibly get a swing and a miss.
The 1-2. Maldonado fouls it off, stays alive.
You know, it's easier said than done when you're a guy like Maldonado that doesn't run well. One thing, if you're Dusty Baker right now, you really want to, you can stay away from that double play ball. But when you get to 2 strikes, it's kind of all bets are off. You're in survival mode. Try to put the ball in play. And ideally, if you could get it in the air, that would be a great thing.
Phillies outfield defense has not been a strength. They don't have a lot of great arms out there. 1-2. Maldonado fouls it off.
You can tell by that swing right there. He's sitting on an off-speed pitch. Pretty good fastball that was up and in. Maldonado normally pretty good fastball hitter. He's kind of going along with Aaron Nola.
Aaron Nola, he is a grunter, even with the noise with the roof closed. You can hear him reaching back. McCormick runs and the ball is hit right through the open side. Segura broke to cover and there was nobody there. Gurriel scores. McCormick goes around to third. Just beautifully done by the Astros. It's 2-0.
Yeah, and a great job by Maldonado. You know, he takes a lot of flack during the season because that batting average sometimes hovers around 200, but a great job by Dusty Baker. You put McCormick in motion. Segura has to commit to cover second base. You leave that right side open. Now potential for a big inning for the Astros as the lineup turns over now with Altuve. Just a great job here. Doesn't try to do more than just put this ball in play. You can see Segura cheating to get to the bag at second. Leaves that hole wide open. A great job by Maldonado.
I think if McCormick's not running, Segura gets to the ball and starts a double play. The inning's over.
Could be a 4-3 double play.
Instead, still only one out and a chance for a big inning for the Astros. Altuve, who struck out in the first. Hard ground ball to short. This should be a double play. There's one. That's two. So Nola makes a very big pitch and limits the damage. But the Astros, Kyle Tucker's home run got it started, and then some small balls, some execution. A little hit and run base hit from Martin Maldonado after Kyle Tucker went big fly. And the Astros here at home in game one have taken a 2-0 lead over the Phillies as we go to inning number 3. There's no complacency here in Houston hosting another World Series.
No, you know what? You just have the feeling, we were around the ballpark this afternoon, that this team is just, they're driven. They want, I think, to dispel the 2017, the trash can gate, and you know they went above and beyond and won a World Series. So they're just a really driven team, it seems to me, in 2022.
The second rookie shortstop in this game, Bryson Stott, with his first World Series at bat. Hadn't had a lot of hits in the playoffs, but he's made them count. 4 doubles, 3 runs batted in. Fouls off that Verlander high fastball. I think there are 2 things with this Houston team, aside from just the usual motivation of everybody wants to win a championship. But you've got the controversy from 2017, where a lot of people believe that their title is tainted and they want to win one where there's no questions at all about any of that stuff. And we saw the sign in the stands, win one for Dusty. Dusty Baker is a rallying cry, not just for the fans, but these Astros players.
Well, when A.J. Hinch was let go, along with Jeff Luhnow, the general manager of the Astros, this was an organization that was kind of in shambles going into spring training. And Dusty Baker was just what this organization needed, a calming influence. They had a good team, some veteran players. A guy like Alec Bregman took a lot of heat. And there's a good look at in Dusty we trusty. That's kind of the battle cry here in Houston. But we talked about it before the game. I think this is their best shot because their pitching is just so good this year.
Led by the guy on the mound, Justin Verlander. Stott lays off the high fastball. Dusty Baker has a World Series win as a player, long distinguished career as a player, but in 25 years as a manager, top 10 all-time in wins. This is his 3rd World Series appearance. A lot of postseason disappointment, never that managerial championship. Stott strikes out swinging. 96-mile-an-hour fastball gets him for out number 1. Most regular season wins in the history of the game without a World Series title, and it is Dusty Baker. More than 2,000 wins. Buck Showalter, Bob Melvin, 2 others who are trying to get that first World Series win, who are in the playoffs here in 2022. Gene Hawk, a guy who so closely associated with a memorable, not in a good way, Phillies season, 1964. One of the true all-time greats, Dusty Baker.
You know, we had a chance to have a meeting with him this afternoon before the game. He just seemed really calm and at peace. I think he likes where he's at. He likes where his team's at. I think he knows as well as we know that this is probably the best chance he's had to get a World Series title.
Foul ball off the bat of Gene Segura. It's 0-2. Dusty was cracking jokes. He was making us laugh.
You know, we go back to that series, the league championship series with the Yankees. We everyone wanted to talk about the Yankees' inability to hit, but I think we have to give some credit to the Astros pitchers.
Big chopper toward third. Bregman to his left, and he got it.
That was a Yankee team that won almost 100 games, and the Astros really had their way with the Yankees, that 4-game sweep. But this Astros team, you know, they've won a lot of games by a couple of runs. It's not like they're blowing anybody out. But I just don't know where you look for a weak spot as far as on the mound with them. They run 4 starting pitchers that are deep. Their back end of the bullpen is solid. They're long guys, they're middle guys, they're high leverage guys, strike throwers. They've got it all as far as pitching staff.
So 2 down, bases empty, and the 9th place hitter, Brandon Marsh, left-handed hitter, center fielder for the Phillies, goes after the first pitch. It's a high pop-up up towards those rafters with the roof closed. Came real close to hitting one of them. Those can be in play.
Right. If it hits in fair play and comes back into the field of play, it's a live ball.
If the ball hits one of those big steel beams in foul ground, it's just dead. It's a foul ball at that point. But it has happened where it can hit one of those in fair territory, and you got to play it. You can catch it, or it can bounce and roll who knows where. It can be chaotic. Marsh, another foul ball. It's 0-2.
I think you're a fan of the Astros right now. You really have to like what you've seen. 35 pitches to get through 2 2/3, and not only that, Justin Verlander command looks impeccable right now. He's maintaining the velocity, 94 to 96. He's shown that good hard slider, getting quick outs. Pitch count very manageable.
0-2. Curve, got it. A beauty from Justin Verlander as Brandon Marsh talking to himself and talking to the home plate umpire. Justin Verlander pitching very well. Middle of the 3rd, 2-0 Astros. Well, the home run got the Astros offense started, but then it was some little ball. Aaron Nola had to be feeling like he was making some good pitches.
Yeah, what the Astros do, right? They can put an inning together. This base hit here by both team on it out. Credit to Dusty Baker to have Gurriel off and running on the pitch. So they've put the ball in play. They've made life very miserable so far for Aaron Nola.
Normally 2 guys very hard to get hit against. Batting average against versus in-zone 4-seam fastballs among the best in the game. The fastball, great weapon for both Nola and Justin Verlander. But sometimes in this game, you make a good pitch with your best pitch, and you still don't get it out.
It's almost like opposites attract. Look at Aaron Nola, 417 middle of the plate up. Verlander under 100.
It is true. They have different. They have a similar arsenal, but different ways and spots where they get hitters out. Astros, when they put a fastball in play tonight, are 3 for 3 against that 4-seamer. And he hasn't had a swing and miss on his 4-seam fastball yet. Jeremy Pena swings and misses. Not a fastball. It's 1-1.
Yeah, and one of the things we've seen the game right now filled with so many swings and misses and strikeouts. A lot of walks, a lot of home runs, and a lot of strikeouts. A little bit of small ball by the Astros. Putting the ball in play, making contact.
Pena bunts. Bunted it foul. Astros are the one team that kind of goes against that trend, which has overwhelmed the sport in a lot of ways. But the Astros have power without the huge strikeout numbers. They're the best in the business, I think, combining damage without striking out.
You know, you go back to 2016 where they had a really good team, but they had a lot of swing and miss. And then 2017, they cut those strikeouts down. And you think about how good this lineup could be, and their best maybe overall hitter, Michael Brantley, isn't even part of this postseason equation. And he is a tremendous hitter.
1-2. I think if you're looking for what's the one reason why the Astros are the team that has avoided the early exit in this incredible run they've had, the ability to put the ball in play, avoid those strikeouts, has to be near the top of the list.
And it was a complete contrast to the style of the ball in that league championship series against the Yankees.
Pena down the right field line toward the corner. That's a fair ball. One hop up against the wall. Castellanos will relay it in, but Jeremy Pena has got himself a leadoff double.
Another inside-out swing by the Astros. Not a bad pitch from Aaron Nola. Another fastball that's up in the zone. This one he wants to get down and away, and the ball runs right back in the middle of the plate. Look at the approach by Pena. Not thinking Cole Realmuto wants his ball out, and it's up. Gets the barrel to it.
And you spotted that when we showed that heat map against his fastballs. The spot where Aaron Nola is most vulnerable tends to be when that fastball drifts up a little bit.
I think the big difference between the two, his ball doesn't have as much life up in the zone. Verlander's fastball has more of a high spin rate, and it's a more difficult pitch. It just seems like it has another gear on it, where Nola's fastball seems like it's better when it's down in the zone.
A little squibber. Bohm has to hurry. Bohm didn't get him. Not in time. Now Hoskins wants the Phillies to take a look. But Yordan Alvarez, that doesn't happen very often for Yordan. A swinging bunt for a base hit.
No, but when you're playing the shift like the Phillies were, Bohm was really the only one on the left side of the diamond. He's almost playing straight up shortstop. He does a great job to glove it and get rid of it.
Phillies want the umpires, the replay umpires, to take a look.
That's a play that's really almost indefensible when you have a guy like Alvarez that has so much pop. And he hits kind of a swinging bunt right between that hole between third and shortstop.
Well, I think they got him.
Yeah, I think Rhys Hoskins has a pretty good complaint. He was on that right off the get-go. I think this one's going to be overturned.
The moment of truth is the moment when the ball first touches the glove. That's the instant where you make the judgment. And I don't think any part of his foot had hit the bag when the ball hit the glove. So I think this is a good use of the replay for the Phillies.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Philadelphia retains their challenge.
You know, there's been a lot of controversy with the replay rules, but boy, this is a case in point. You go back a few years when before replay, the Astros would be in business here to be first and third, nobody out. Now it sets a whole different scenario. If you're the Phillies, you can bring the infield in. You can clearly see that it's almost a half a step before the foot gets down.
Well, Alec Bohm, who made so many strides defensively as the year went on, an excellent play. The infield's going to come in for the Phillies, which isn't all that comfortable when you got a guy like Alex Bregman in the batter's box. Runner at third, Pena, one out. Houston already leading 2-0. Ball curve outside.
And I think Rob Thompson sees what everybody else in the ballpark sees, that Justin Verlander through 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down. He's had his way with the Phillies. Phillies can ill afford to fall behind any further than they are right now.
You got to be aggressive defensively. Old college roommates going head to head here. Bregman takes another curve, and it's 2-0.
Doesn't get any easier. Kyle Tucker on deck, who hit the solo home run in his last at bat. This is what's scary right now if this Astros team starts to hit.
So you got Tucker on deck, who has already homered. Bregman, who puts the ball in play, has only struck out twice all postseason. That curveball's in there. Strike one.
One of the things you have to be careful right now if you're Aaron Nola. He's so quick on that ball on the inner third. Sometimes you get lulled to sleep. You think you can run a fastball in on this guy's hands, but he has that short, quick stroke. You want to try to keep the ball on the ground with the infield in.
Nola steps off. And this is truly the spot where that ability to avoid the strikeout, put the ball in play, runner in third, only one out, gives the Astros an advantage.
Almost, if you think the approach inside out, what the Astros have done, try to hit something, soft serve it into right field if you can.
Way inside, 3-1. Bregman is just so rare that he goes out of the strike zone. Lowest chase rate of any hitter in the American League. Only swings at 18% of the pitches that are out of the strike zone.
And particularly when in a spot like this, when you're behind the 8 ball of your Aaron Nola.
Ball 4. He did not go after that one. Real close. Call the ball. It's a walk.
Well, now you're up against it if you're Aaron Nola. You've got a guy coming up that took you deep the last time up. And Tucker runs pretty well, too, for a big guy. You've got some good speed on the corners with Bregman and Pena.
And the guy who almost never walks anybody has walked 2 in these first 3 innings. Kyle Tucker hit his second playoff home run this year and his first at bat tonight.
Not a good sign for Aaron Nola. That pitch count starting to get up. 48 pitches so far here with 1 out in the 3rd inning.
Tucker check swing foul. A high fastball. This was just last inning.
Fastball that was supposed to be away that kind of drifted back in. Look at that exit velo, 101. Major League averages 104. Just enough for Kyle Tucker. 359 feet worth of a World Series home run.
A 1 pitch. That is right there. Called a strike. Tucker thought it was off the plate inside. 0-2.
Well, you can see why Tucker was a little upset with that call. Looked like it was a couple of baseballs in off the plate on the inner third.
Well, now it's 0-2. Nola would love to get a strikeout. The 0-2. Tucker laid off the curve.
Hit a point in the game right now where you know, hard to say that you can win or lose a game in the 3rd inning. But you kind of get the feeling the way Justin Verlander's gone 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 innings, that Aaron Nola's going to have to try to minimize the damage here if he can.
Feels like it. Pretty good company for Kyle Tucker. The Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell. Tucker takes another breaking ball.
Thank you.
So from 0-2 to 2-2. Aaron Nola, he's having a hard time putting some of these Astros hitters away. No batting gloves for Kyle Tucker. 2-2. He breaks his bat and hits a little flip shot. Foul down the third base line. Barrel went whistling right by Nola. Wow.
Just to the left of Aaron Nola. He was paying so much attention whether that ball was going fair or foul. You can see this ball right off the handle. Look at Tucker. He's got about a foot of bat in his hand. Watch this. It goes right to the left of Aaron Nola. He wasn't really looking to see where the barrel was going. He was following the flight of the ball.
Ooh, that could have been ugly. Thank goodness. 2 on, 1 out. And another 2-2 pitch to Kyle Tucker. Outside, not close.
Boy, what a terrific at bat here by Tucker. I think if you're Aaron Nola now, you've gone this far into count. The last thing you can do is try to lay a fastball in there. His curveball's his best pitch. This might be a time for him to try that backdoor curveball after you miss with a fastball away, hoping that maybe Tucker will give up on it.
There's Jeff Bagwell. 2 Hall of Famers sitting next to one another right behind home plate. Big pitch in this game right here. 3-2. Tucker, high drive, right field. Castellanos runs out of room. It is gone. Nothing Astros. What an at bat from Kyle Tucker. His second home run in as many at bats tonight.
From 0-2 to 3-2, and he fights off some really good pitches. It's kind of scary to think that this Astros lineup has been kind of quiet so far in the postseason. The pitching has been great, but what a night. Game 1 of the World Series so far for Kyle Tucker. 2 at bats, 2 home runs.
And that's one of the great at bats you'll see. Behind 0-2, fight off a tough pitch, take some close ones, and then a 3-run homer. Yuli Gurriel takes ball 1. No doubt in his mind.
No, he knew it with that bat flip, and he knew it.
Wasn't quite the Barry Bonds pirouette, but yeah, it was in the neighborhood. Dusty Baker might have been working on Kyle Tucker on that one.
You know, we were talking before the game, Dave. You just get the feeling with this Astros team. You were here for the workout yesterday. Just very businesslike. Like their mission isn't accomplished. They've been here, and this is a hungry team.
They know they're good. 2-0. Gurriel takes a strike. That's the first multi-home run game by an Astro in their World Series history. Kyle Tucker, and he's done it in the first 3 innings of Game 1. 2-2 now to Gurriel.
This is kind
shock for Aaron Nola.
Yeah, that was just about to come out of my mouth. And you go back to Game 2 of the League Championship Series against the Padres. The Phillies jumped out to a 4-0 lead. It looked like, boy, they were about to be on cruise control. And the home run ball has kind of bit Aaron Nola so far tonight.
Hard hit ball almost knocked Gene Segura backwards, but he kept his balance and throws out Gurriel. 2 down. Wow, Kyle Tucker, all the playoff struggles to this point are in the rearview mirror. 2 beautiful swings. Aaron Nola, first 2 playoff starts. He'd never pitched in the postseason before this year. Did not give up a single earned run. And now, combined between his start against the Padres and now here in the World Series, he's given up 11 runs. To Trey Mancini. Now 0-2.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling like the Phillies have to win one of these 2 games in Houston. You just have the feeling this is going to put a lot of pressure on Zach Wheeler if this holds up. If Justin Verlander continues to throw well. Now you have a decision with Ron Thompson. Like, what do? You don't want to empty out that bullpen. You have a game tomorrow. Maybe you can get Aaron Nola to get you through 4 or 5 innings to minimize the damage.
Phillies bullpen is working now. Andrew Bellotti is the guy who's gotten up. And I think part of the calculus might be, hey, we need Aaron Nola. If we're going to win this World Series, we're going to need a lot more out of Aaron Nola.
And that's kind of the slope. If you're Rob Thompson, you leave him out there. You know he's taxing himself. You can tell with that look. Last close-up we had, he's sweating bullets.
Stott makes the play, and Nola gets through the third, but not before Kyle Tucker does more damage. Astros have had a lot of great hitters in a lot of World Series games. They've never had anybody hit more than one home run in a game. Kyle Tucker's done it in the first 3 innings. A 3-run homer makes it 5-0 Houston through 3 at Minute Maid Park. Well, before the game tonight, look who was here to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Terry Poole, whom, if the Astros had won that 1980 series against the Phillies, probably would have been the MVP. He had a great series. He was a great player. The Canadian native, Terry Poole, 14 seasons with the Astros. He's in their Hall of Fame. And he was here to throw out the ceremonial first pitch tonight.
Yeah, and with the high strike zone too right now, Dave, that would have been a strike too.
Oh,
that's called a strike right now in today's game.
No kidding. Astros are looking for revenge for 1980. The Phillies went to the World Series, won their first World Series back in that special 1980 season. The Phillies leadoff hitter that year was Pete Rose. He hit 1 home run. The Phillies leadoff hitter this year, Kyle Schwarber, hit 46 home runs. Another little difference between then and now.
Ball no.
Oh, call the ball.
Yeah, this could be the biggest inning for Justin Verlander right now. He's handcuffed the Phillies through the first 3. Astros just had a big 3-run inning, have a 5-0 lead. Boy, nothing better. He'd like to get back in that dugout.
Believe it or not, Schwarber chased that high fastball. All the World Series experience for Justin Verlander. This is the first time he's ever pitched in a World Series game with a multi-run lead.
That makes more sense now why he was 0-6, right?
It does.
You start to dive into those numbers a little bit. Yeah, he's got it all going right now. High fastball up in the zone. The slow curveball, that one's 77 miles an hour. Not only does he have the weapons, but he knows how to use them. And another good look at that breaking ball. And he's got one of the best in the game calling the signals to him, Maldonado.
1-2. Schwarber fouled it off.
Yeah, we touched on it. He's such a different pitcher now than the guy that came up with the Tigers. First-round draft pick out of Old Dominion University. He was a thrower. He's more of a pitcher right now, but boy, he knows how to use the weapons. A 4-seamer, 2-seamer, curveball, slider, and a changeup. He has all the tools, but more importantly, he knows how to use them.
1-2. Schwarber asked for time. All those years ago, the man who drafted Justin Verlander in Detroit now runs the Phillies, Dave Dombrowski. Verlander yesterday had a lot of nice things to say about the president of the Phillies, giving him his first chance. Just inside.
It'll be interesting. He has an opt-out in his contract at the end of the World Series. Might find himself back on the free agent market. Another look at that pitch right here, the slider. Maybe a ball off the inside part of the plate, let her high.
2-2. Schwarber to center field. McCormick, one away. So that's 10 in a row retired by Verlander to start this game. The last starting pitcher to retire the first 9 in Game 1 of a World Series was Louis Tiant in 1975. 9 up, 9 down to start Game 1. That's a long time ago.
Wow, would that have been Red Sox Reds?
It would have been.
Wow.
It was the Carlton Fisk World Series that the Reds ultimately won. Rhys Hoskins takes a strike.
Yeah, you could just see the look on Verlander's face. He's just pounding the strike zone right now. And I think the more you look at that scoreboard, it's 5-0 of your Phillies. It's hard not to get over anxious and try to strike and get it all back.
Line drive, left center field. That's a base hit. Rhys Hoskins has the first hit of this World Series for the Phillies. It's a start.
Yeah, and a good sign too, because at times Rhys Hoskins, there can be quite a bit of swing and miss in his arsenal. He's kind of under the ire the last couple of weeks of the season. A couple of miscues in the field, but came up big. Playoff baseball. He's hit some big home runs for the Phillies.
I mean, we've seen wild comebacks in this postseason. Now, the Astros pitching makes it a little different. But the Phillies, who fell behind before they ever took an at-bat, 4-0 against the Padres, came back and won that game. The incredible game in Toronto. Curveball for a strike to Real Muto. The Mariners were down 8-1, came back and won that game.
I mean, it can happen fast. You've got a guy up in Real Muto now. You've got Bryce Harper on the on-deck circle, a bloop and a blast, and all of a sudden it's 5-0. It could be 5-3 like that, and they're right back in it.
On the other hand, the Astros have never blown a 5-run lead in their postseason history. Curve for strike 2 to Real Muto.
Yeah, when you see a take like that from Real Muto, the spin, the rotation on that curveball must be pretty good. Kind of locked Real Muto up. He's a pretty good breaking ball hitter himself.
Couple quick peeks over to first from Verlander. 0-2. Line drive back at Verlander, who knocks it down. Now Hoskins had to freeze. Verlander goes to first and gets the out there. Just pure self-defense. Shot the glove up and knocked it down.
Yeah, that's one of those balls that are hit back at you. The pitcher, you see that backdrop. You can't really see it. Ball's coming out of the crowd.
No touch.
Fortunately, he's able to get the middle part of the glove on it. Comes right out of the pocket of the glove. So it makes that play so hard when you're a pitcher. You're looking back at a sea of orange and white shirts. You don't have much of a backdrop to see the ball coming back. You know what's coming back at you, but you just don't know when and how hard.
That was almost like a changeup. I think he was expecting it to get there even just a little bit quicker. So now Bryce Harper, first base open, but it's a 5-0 game. Bryce, who struck out, swung and missed at 3 fastballs his first time up. Foul that one back. Another high fastball.
Another high fastball, and a little bit late. That's 4 pitches Harper's seen. He's taken 4 swings. And I think if you're Verlander, you continue to go to the well until he proves you any different. One thing Bryce will do when he gets in that mode, he'll start swinging. He'll chase the balls that are up out of the zone.
He pulls that one into right field, and it's going to get down for a hit. Hoskins will get the stop sign. Tucker comes up throwing. And the Phillies down 5 runs, just didn't want to take a chance. So Bryce Harper has his first hit, but it does not score a run even from second.
Yeah, it was really the first off-speed pitch. He had seen 5 pitches. This was the first breaking ball from Verlander. We touched on it, like he had thrown him 4 fastballs in a row. And he tries to bury a slider down and in. He kind of throws it right into his bat speed.
Well, Rhys Hoskins was running on contact with 2 down, but still got the stop sign from Dusty Waters. Excellent third base coach for the Phillies. And I just think the score dictated that. If it's a different score, probably you challenge Kyle Tucker even with a good arm. Here's Castellanos. He goes after the first pitch, fouls it away.
In particular in this ballpark too, Dave, with a short porch in left field, you're really a fly ball away from a 3-pointer. Putting yourself right back into the game. You really hate to run the risk of inning and inning by having somebody thrown out at home when you're down by 5.
Two on, 2 out. Opportunity for the Phillies here against Verlander after he retired 10 in a row to start the game. Castellanos, pop up. That one's going to drift back into the seats. It's 0-2. He also talked to third base coaches about coaching in this ballpark and in Philadelphia, for that matter, when we take this World Series to Citizens Bank Park. Those outfielders, because of the short porches in the corners, can feel like they're just right behind the infield. They're sort of looming out there. It's not an easy place to coach third. 0-2. Castellanos just barely held up. Barely. He needs a run. They train him early in Philly. Close. Castellanos does like to swing. 1-2, and he pulls that one into left field. That's going to get down for a hit. So Hoskins will come in to score. Nick Castellanos drives in the first run for the Phillies. There you go, young man. 5-1 here in the fourth inning.
Boy, the middle part of the year was such a struggle for Nick Castellanos. I was hearing it from the fans. It was kind of the brunt of all the ire. He struggled, but here's a really good two-strike approach, much like what the Astros did to Aaron Nola. Just put the ball in play, soft serve at the left field.
Good pitch, and Castellanos just beat him. So the Phillies on the board and still going here in the top of the fourth. Alec Bohm goes after the first pitch and drives one down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Headed to the corner. Harper around third. He'll score. Here comes Castellanos. He gets the green light. Castellanos will come in to score. Into second with a double, Alec Bohm. And we got a whole new game. It's 5-3.
Well, what the Phillies can do, they can strike quick. Boy, if you're Justin Verlander, you're like an out away from getting out of some trouble. You got a two-out base hit by Harper. Then Castellanos, a soft serve, and Bohm hits a bullet just inside that left field foul pole. Breaking ball, slider that held up in the inner third of the plate. We talked to Dusty Baker. He said that Alvarez throws well, but aggressive base running there. Dusty Walden sending Castellanos right from the get-go.
Yeah, that's why you hold the runner with no runs in and 2 outs. You can't risk the out on the bases, and your hitters made the decision look real good. Here's Stott. He takes outside, ball 1.
Look at the trail runner Castellanos at first base. You can see him. He gets a great read on this, and he's thinking scoring as soon as he rounded second. Doesn't even pick up Dusty Walden, but Dusty's waving him on in, and he makes it easy.
The rookie shortstop, left-handed hitter, swings through a fastball. He struggled against fastballs in the playoffs, Bryson Stott.
That was the best heater of the night from Verlander, 97. A little bit of anger on that one.
Long way to go in game 1. And a huge rally here for Bryce Harper and the Phillies. Just to feel like they're back in this game. That one got the call on the outside, 1-2. First time through the order, 9 up, 9 down. Second time through, 4 for 6, these Phillies hitters. Maldonado might have helped Verlander there. Trying to get through this top of the fourth inning. One-two off the outside. Stott hanging in there.
All of a sudden, that pitch count for Verlander approaching 60. This will be his 60th pitch. As you touched on cruise control, first 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down. Second time through the lineup. Not seeing a whole lot of swings and misses. Some good ABs, putting the ball in play. Kind of giving the Astros a taste of their own medicine, what they've done to Aaron Nola.
You got a guy who can really do that on deck, Gene Segura. So this will be the 24th pitch of the inning for Verlander. 2-2 to Bryson Stott. Long look to second. Better swing. Stott a little more balance there. Phillies bullpen, meanwhile, has continued to work even through this top of the fourth. So we'll see if that means Rob Thompson has decided that he's going to be going to the bullpen, or if maybe the rally here by the Phillies has changed his mind. It's not Bellotti, it's Connor Brogdon, and he's really now just kind of starting to get loose. That probably means that Aaron Nola is going to stay in the game. Another foul ball.
One of the things, I guess, right now, if you're a fan of the Phillies, you have to like, they're making Justin Verlander work. He's had to empty out the tank to try to get through this fourth inning. He's thrown a few pitches at 97 miles an hour, but you could see by the press, he's perspiring and sweating. He's had to work to get through this in an inning that looked so promising, just a fly ball to right field, and since then the wheels have come off on Verlander.
2-2. Stott fouled it off his foot or his ankle. But another foul ball. That was the 8th pitch of the at bat. Whenever he's ready to go, he's going to see a 9th at least.
That hard breaking ball from Verlander, that back foot breaking ball, hits it right off the toe of his right foot. See him get the barrel and hits this ball right off the end of the bat.
Trying to get the feeling back in that right foot. This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat. Phillies have scored 3 times, all with 2 outs. A good take on the curve. Count runs full, 3-2.
Boy, it's kind of been a tale of 2 different pitchers. The Phillies looked overmatched in the first 3 innings, and now they're having some really good at bats. Not chasing balls, bad breaking balls in the dirt. I mean, look at this at bat. It's been filled with high velocity, 96, 97. Curveballs, a couple of 4-seam fastballs. He's thrown the kitchen sink at Stott.
Full count, 3-2. Here it comes. And he missed. A curveball high. What an at bat from the rookie shortstop. He draws the walk. We're going to get a visit to the mound, and maybe as much as anything just to give Justin Verlander a little breather.
Yeah, you know, this Dave, he's been this inning, it's just kind of been rapid fire, and that's what can happen. Your heart rate gets going up a little bit. It's kind of similar to going to hit golf balls at the driving range, just one after another. You put them down and you start just one after another. You rapid fire. Next thing you know, you get going at this hectic pace. And you get a little bit over anxious. You want to make it happen. You want to make a pitch and get out of the inning. It's been a long inning for Verlander. It started with a simple fly ball from Kyle Schwarber, and it's turned into a long inning. 64 pitches. Pitch count starting to get up.
28 of them here in the 4th inning alone. 10 of them to Bryson Stott, who draws that walk. Hoskins got it started. Then with 2 outs, a Bryce Harper base hit. Castellanos with an RBI single. Alec Boehm with the 2-run double. 2 on, 2 out for Gene Segura, who continues to hit 8th, even though he's had a lot of good at bats. Off the outside, ball 1.
Not sure what happened between the 3rd and the 4th inning, but this Phillies lineup, totally different approach. Not chasing balls off the plate, making Verlander work.
The 1-0. Segura takes one for a strike.
You almost get the feeling like the second time through the lineup, as you touched on, Dave, it's like they've had a look at him now. They kind of know what he has. They've laid off that elevated fastball that was working the first 3 innings.
Gene Segura, very tough to strike out. Longer pause here. The 1-1. Segura, a little pop-up behind second. Altuve underneath it for out number 3. But the Phillies off the deck, and a rally that has put them right back in this game 1. They were down 5-0. They hadn't had a base runner against Verlander. But Castellanos and Alec Boehm with RBI hits against the Astros ace. 3 runs on the board, middle of the 4th here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. And back in Philadelphia, they're feeling like their team's back in it. It's 5-3 Astros. Well, one of the all-time moments in World Series history, maybe the greatest defensive play in the history of the game, the most famous for sure. Game 1, 1954, the Giants were big underdogs against a powerful Cleveland team, but the great Willie Mays, big words to not just deep center field, but deep, deep center field. The catch, the over-the-shoulder catch by Willie Mays. Giants would win that game in extra innings, and they would sweep that series in 4 games.
The Say Hey Kid. What a great nickname for one of the greatest players ever played.
Say hey.
Wow.
Aaron Nola stays in the game. Kyle Tucker has been enemy #1 for Nola and the Phillies. Nola missed badly outside. We're seeing some bigger misses from him than we're used to seeing.
You go back to game 2 against the Padres. He just didn't seem like he ever settled in. This is a guy that normally his body language is calm and relaxed, and I really thought when he was able to get through the first inning, pounding the strike zone, just has an inability like to get ahead, and it's really cost him tonight. Again.
One last note. Can I give you one last note on the catch? Willie Mays, 1954.
Lay it on me.
2-0. And the swing and miss. That spot where Willie went back and made that catch, that wall, 450. From home plate at the Polo Grounds. So I mean, here you got a lot of room in center field. It's one of the biggest center fields in baseball in Houston. 409. That was 450 to that spot.
Well, that would be a pitcher's paradise. That and the new configuration at Camden Yards for the Orioles, right? That's my kind of ballpark to pitch in.
Now it was 279 down the line at the Polo Grounds, so it wasn't all big. But think about that context for that catch, one of the all-time great moments. This has been a postseason we've had so many of those moments that we're going to be talking about for years and years to come. Got him with the curveball.
Yep, that's the curveball. That's what he needs. That's his pitch that makes the rest of his arsenal that much better. When he's good, he can land that curveball at will. That was a nasty one to McCormick.
It used to be even weirder here in center field. They called it Towels Hill, and Carlos Beltran, every once in a while, he would climb up that hill and make a catch. It was adventure land here in Houston. Lance Berkman did not like it, even though he made a few of those plays over the years. So he finally got rid of it. It was, what did it say, 436 to straightaway center field with a hill. I think it's better that they eliminated that.
Yeah, I love that snag, the last one, Lance Berkman, right? He's not like the most nimble of guys anyway. He's running up that hill. Luckily, he didn't get hurt. There were a lot of players I know that complained. They thought that they were going to get hurt running up that hill.
Well, Lance was definitely not shy about voicing his opinion about what he thought about the hill. Maldonado.
Oh, no. Did he go?
The inside. Did he go? No. Says our crew chief, Dan Asanya. Well, we don't know how long Aaron Nola is going to be able to hang in this game. 71 pitches, just has not been real sharp, but his offense has gotten him back in the game.
I think if you're Rob Thompson, in a perfect world, if you could get him through 5 innings, somehow keep that pitch count around 85 to 90 pitches. Because listen, if the Phillies are going to be in business in this series, they're on the phone right now. You're going to need him at least one more time. You'd hate to burn him out here and have him, you know, exhaust himself, because they're going to need him for another start.
On the ground is short. Stott. A little bit of a tricky hop, but fielded it cleanly. And he throws out Maldonado. 2 down.
Talked to Rob Thompson before the game. He was telling us about Stott. He had a chance to watch him in the Arizona Fall League last fall, and he wasn't quite sure, did he have enough arm strength and enough range to be the everyday shortstop. But you can tell by that last play, had some time with Maldonado, doesn't run all that well. He's been solid. Took over shortstop. Didi Gregorius was playing shortstop the first handful of games for the Phillies.
And defensively, Didi just wasn't his old self. There's Altuve. And Nola got the friendly call. Bryson Stott's been a big part of why the Phillies defense has gone from really bad to at least average. Okay. It's been a big improvement. Sometimes average can be really good. Another friendly call. It's 0-2.
Well, if you're Altuve right now, you're like, here we go. Here's another look at that play. See, he knows he has all the time in the world. He gets up and he nice four-seam fastball across the diamond to Rhys Hoskins.
Altuve to left field. Schwarber's there protecting the bigger part of the ballpark. And that's out number 3. The first 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Nola in this World Series Game 1. On to the 5th. Astros 5, Phillies 3. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Some of the pitching history of the Astros and the Phillies over the years, and guys who played for both teams. Hunter Pence, who came up as an Astro, Billy Wagner, a lot of crossover great players between these two franchises.
Yeah, and Brad Lidge closed out the World Series. Can still hear that famous call from Harry Cowles, Phillies, world champions of baseball.
Harry, whose son Todd is the television voice of the Astros. I don't think there's a doubt, though, that Harry would be pulling for his Phillies. Sorry, kid.
No question.
Brandon Marsh in the 5th inning. 5-3 Houston. Verlander retired 10 in a row to start the game, and then the Phillies got him for 3 runs. Marsh rips one foul.
Kind of interesting through 2 innings. Verlander took him 24 pitches, 6 up, 6 down. He was on cruise control. Now we get to the top of the 50s. This next pitch will be pitch number 70. Phillies made him work there in the 4th inning.
They got the top of the order looming after Marsh, 9th place hitter leading off. Marsh slashed it, and it's a fair ball. Just inside the line. It'll kick off that sidewall. Marsh is going to test Yordan Alvarez, who comes up throwing. It's too late. A hustle double for Brandon Marsh to start the 5th.
Another shrewd move, acquisition by Dave Dombrowski before the trade deadline. Trying to get a little bit more athletic. Made the trade, acquired Marsh from the Angels. Has some speed. He's brought some stability to center field. Another fastball from Verlander. Just a little inside out swing, a bullet. Look at him thinking too right out of the get-go. It's where most doubles occur the first couple of steps out of the batter's box. Makes it easy, little pop-up slide.
So now Schwarber, who could tie the game with one swing. Curveball just missing.
And this is when it gets dangerous because he can sit on a fastball. He's had a couple of bats now, his 3rd at bat. He's been able to gauge what Verlander has in the tank.
Verlander's gotten him to chase up. You better get that fastball all the way up, though. That fastball, call the ball, down and away. Not to the target. Maldonado couldn't quite frame that one. It's 2-0.
Yeah, you can see where he's sitting. He wants that ball kind of down and in, and it's down and away. Pretty good pitch. We've seen home plate. Some balls have been called strikes that have been a couple of balls down or off the plate.
2-0. Schwarber went after that curve. 2-1. Jose Altuve is probably standing out in right field going, now you're not calling strikes? Astros bullpen has got to be on alert now. They know Justin Verlander, 73 pitches. 6 of the last 8 Phillies have reached base safely. There might be one base runner away from Dusty Baker getting that bullpen going. 2-1. Schwarber took the curve for a strike.
You know, you don't, with a guy like Schwarber to hit the ball in the ballpark, but you still have to almost think small. You've got a runner at second, nobody out. As that curveball from Verlander catches the top part of the strike zone. At worst, a ground ball to the right side to get Marsh over to third base.
You got Rhys Hoskins on deck. Hoskins got the rally started last inning with a base hit. Now the Phillies offense just looks like a totally different unit. Very high. Full count, 3-2. Here's Hoskins. Schwarber's good at pulling the ball. That's what he does. That's why the Astros have big overshift. Bregman stays close to third with Marsh out at second. Nobody out. 3-2. Schwarber fouled it straight back.
Phillies doing a much better job handling that high fastball from Verlander. They've really made him work. You can kind of see the look on Verlander's face. He's in for a fight. As smooth as it was for 3 innings, it was 9 up and 9 down. Phillies have made him work.
And you do wonder what the difference is, whether it's just having seen him one time through or 3-2. Schwarber takes ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. Schwarber draws the walk. That's 7 of the last 9 Phillies have reached base safely. Well, we got an aerobics class going on, but still nobody actually throwing. That may well change.
Yeah, that's a bullpen in 2022 known as a bullpen of outgetters, right? You're out there, you high leverage. You can be brought in the 4th, you can be brought in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning.
Hoskins swings at that first pitch, breaking ball, off-speed pitch, and fouled it back. You might like to see that one again. That was a slider, and I don't think that's the way that Justin Verlander wanted to throw that pitch.
Yeah, you have to be really careful with Hoskins. He likes that ball coming into him. Preferably down. He's more of a down low ball hitter than a high ball hitter.
He might have just missed that one. Sky high pop up. They're going to call the infield fly rule. Pena makes the catch anyway. Big first out. So Hoskins retired.
That pitch looks so inviting to hit. Probably swung at ball 2 right there.
One out now. JT Realmuto, who's 0 for 2. Astros do now have some real bullpen activity. Brian Abreu, a hard-throwing young right-hander, who's been used in the late innings in the playoffs, is getting up here in the 5th. 2 on, 1 out. Harper looming on deck. And Justin Verlander, I'm sure he's having to dig deep here.
He's had to work, and as easy as it was for him in the first 3 innings, last 2 innings have just been a complete reversal of form.
Foul ball.
We have seen very few swings and misses, some foul balls straight back to the screen, laying off the breaking balls that are off the plate that they were chasing the first 2 innings. You almost get the feeling right now that Verlander's in survival mode, try to get through this inning.
Yeah, and you know, as much as he says it's all about the team wins matter a lot more than wins for me. He wants to get through this 5th, have a chance for his first career World Series win. He needs 2 more outs to qualify. 0-1. Real Muto to left center field. Alvarez chasing it. Alvarez is going to look up. It is off the wall. Coming around third, that's Marsh. Right behind him, Schwarber. He'll score to tie the game. Into second with a double. JT Real Muto. It's 5-5. Amazing.
Well, this is what the Phillies have done really the last 3 weeks of the regular season into the month of October. They're down but never out. You go into the fourth inning, they're trailing 5-0. They just kind of pick their way back, and Real Muto gets a pitch up in the zone and drives it high off the wall in left center field. You're Dusty Baker right now. You have to be tempted to maybe go to your bullpen. I know you'd like to get Verlander through this half inning.
Brandon Marsh was trying to be the third base coach himself. He was waving on Schwarber to come score right behind him. So now Bryce Harper, go-ahead run at second, and Harper swings through a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'd be very surprised in this at bat if Harper sees a breaking ball. He punched him out the first at bat on 3 pitches, then was strike one at the second at bat, then tried to get cute and went to a breaking ball. I think you're going to see him go to the well with that high fastball as long as Harper continues to chase it.
Harper fouls the fastball away. There was one. Yeah, you're right. It's been all fastballs other than the pitch that he hit for a base hit.
And I think right now, as much trouble as Verlander is in right now, the last thing you want to do is speed Harper's bat up and throw something down in the zone. I think you're going to continue to see a couple of more fastballs up, out, and if he wants to chase, let him try to get himself out.
Harper behind 0-2. He takes the fastball high. Just remarkable. Justin Verlander was cruising. He had retired the first 10 hitters of the game. Kyle Tucker's hit 2 home runs. It's 5-0 Astros, and you're starting to maybe even let your mind drift towards game 2. And here we are. It's the 5th inning, and the Phillies have tied it up. 1-2 on the ground into the shift. That's Pena, the shortstop. 2 down. Real Muto goes to third. That's a big out for Justin Verlander to get through Bryce Harper. And it does look like Dusty Baker is going to let him face Nick Castellanos.
Castellanos had a tremendous at bat his last one. A really good breaking ball from Verlander. They hit a little soft serve into left field. One of the things with Castellanos, he goes up there swinging. Very rarely do you see this guy take 2 pitches. He's going to go up there hacking.
Goes after the first pitch, ready to swing, and a fastball. He's beating his bat on his helmet. So Brogdon no longer warming. It's Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, this is a big, strong guy. When he's throwing strikes 98 to 101 miles an hour, that'll give you a chance of what Rob Thompson thinks about the Phillies, where they're at in this game right now. Brogdon down, one of their high leverage guys up and ready to go.
Things change as the score changes. Go ahead run at third, 2 down. Castellanos pulls it foul. Coming into this at bat to get the last 4 outs, it's taken Justin Verlander 44 pitches to get the last 4 outs. Trying to get the 3rd out in the 5th here. From the windup, 0-2. Off the outside.
You can kind of see it in the body language of Verlander that he's emptying out everything he has. I'd be very surprised if he can get through this inning. Pretty good chance we're going to see Abreu in the 6th. He's had to work hard in the 4th and 5th.
Here's the 1-2. Castellanos had a good cut at the low fastball. 98. I think you're right. He's reaching back for everything that he's got. First 3 innings, no base runners, 4 strikeouts. Last 2, 6 hits, 5 runs, and not a single strikeout.
Yeah, not a lot of swing and miss. A lot of foul balls back to the screen. They've made him work.
Looks over to third. Finally Castellanos, and maybe Verlander maybe he needed a minute.
Yeah, I think the pitch, if you're Verlander right now, Castellanos gets into that swing mode. You have to be careful with a runner on third, but that breaking ball down and away, you have to really trust Maldonado that he can go down there and block it if you want to go that route and try to bury one down and away.
1-2. He did it. He struck him out with the curveball. So Verlander gets those last couple outs, but not before the Phillies score 2 more to tie the game. Remarkable game 1 of this 2022 World Series unfolding, and we're only halfway through. It's the middle of the 5th, and it's now 5-5, the Phillies and the Astros. JT Realmuto with the hit that ties the game, a double off the left center field wall. Phillies come back from 5-0 down. Back in Philly, yeah,
going bonkers. Bedlam at the bank. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get to Philadelphia on Monday.
I mean,
I want to experience that firsthand.
This is an incredible scene, but what those fans did in the NLCS especially, but even in the division series, it was amazing, and it made the Phillies a better team.
Hungry fans right now. They're thinking on top of the world, right? The Eagles playing well in the NFL. Sixers have a chance. The Flyers are back in action. Good time to be a Philly sports fan.
After the Mariners broke their playoff drought, the Phillies had the second longest postseason drought of any team in baseball. 11 years since they've been to the playoffs before this season. And here they are in the World Series. And now tied up. Aaron Nola still in the game against the 2-3-4 hitters for Houston. Pena takes a curve inside for ball 1.
Boy, this is the big inning for Rob Thompson and the Phillies. If they could get Aaron Nola through this 5th inning, got Jordan on deck. Kyle Tucker looming 4 hitters away. Be interesting to see if they have Alvarez up to bring him in for Tucker.
Big swing and miss from Jeremy Pena, who doubled and scored a run in the 3rd inning. Got the 3-run rally in the 3rd, started with that double. Remarkable year for Jeremy Pena. Had never played a big league game before opening day. That was his debut, replacing Carlos Correa.
You know, he's going on record saying that, you know, Carlos Correa was so good to him coming up through the minor leagues. He didn't feel like he was, you know, had to live up to what Correa had done. Made him feel very welcome, and give credit to the Astros organization. Their player development staff, they've developed some really good young players.
Good pitch there. It's 2-2.
It's not easy to do when you have a guy that's a perennial all-star and an MVP candidate. Correa decides to leave via free agency, and you bring a 24-year-old rookie shortstop, put him on a good team, and he plays well.
Player development machine here in Houston. 2-2. Nola. Got him. So Aaron Nola's now retired 6 in a row since that Kyle Tucker home run. Tucker's second. He gets the strikeout here. Yeah, again, the age is a big difference. Carlos Correa was a phenom, 20 years old when he first came up, and he played fewer games, but in a year where offense was a little easier to come by. And Jeremy Pena this year, 22 home runs, 44 extra base hits, wins above replacement. The 2 were even. Jeremy Pena's defense has been awesome. So Nola faces Pena now with Alvarez coming up. That'll be it for Aaron Nola. He's coming out of the game. So it wasn't even Kyle Tucker. It was Jordan Alvarez that Rob Thompson was targeting, with Alvarado, his lefty, in the bullpen. And give Aaron Nola credit. He didn't have great stuff today. He found a way to hang in this game.
And I tell you what, a gutsy move here by Rob Thompson. You're going to go to one of your high leverage guys, the Phillies bullpen, that doesn't have the depth and the arms, if you look at it on the surface, that the Astros have. But they're going to one of their high leverage guys here in the 5th inning.
And it might tell you that Ranger Suarez, another lefty who's a starter, maybe he would be earmarked for the next time this part of the lineup comes through. It's the World Series. It's all hands on deck, and it's a tie game with a pitching change. We'll be back right after this. Well, Dan said it. Aggressive move by Rob Thompson to bring Jose Alvarado into this game. It's the 5th inning. The Phillies rallied from 5 runs down to tie it up. Alvarado had a wild ride in the regular season. Terrible start. Got sent down to the minor leagues. Came back and has pitched great. He's got massive stuff. Look at those strikeout numbers.
Yeah, 81 punch outs in 51 innings. It's just a matter of he harnesses his control. He brings something unique that you don't see in the game from the left side. Turbo sinker, 98 to 102 miles an hour. He can get it up there quick. What's turned him around, he's brought the cutter into play, and it's made a big difference.
Facing one of the game's great hitters, Yordan Alvarez. Ball one just a little bit low. Quiet for Alvarez since his red-hot start to the playoffs. The memorable walk-off home run in the Astros' first postseason game this year. It's a pop-up here.
I know, but it wasn't like the back.
Bryson Stott. And that was Alec Boehm, actually the third baseman on the shift. There's no wind in here. The roof is closed. He acted like the wind gave it a push. Okay, I take it back. There's a little wind. So just enough of those open panels, not totally fully enclosed to where the wind may have pushed it a little bit.
I know, but it wasn't like the back.
Umpire and catcher James Roy and JT Realmuto were having a big conversation as that ball was in the air. So 2 down. Alvarado 101 miles an hour to Alex Bregman.
101 with some movement on it. That's why when he's throwing strikes and he's down in the strike zone, he's virtually impossible to get multiple hits off of. And that cutter that he added this year has been a difference maker.
Strike 2. I mean, you watch him pitch and you think, this guy gets sent to the minor leagues.
Oh, there were about 4 years ago, the first 2 months of the season, when he's still a member of the Tampa Bay Rays, he was by far the best relief pitcher in the game of baseball. For 2 months, he was throwing strikes. He was virtually unhittable. Big, strong guy, can give you multiple innings. I would assume if this goes 7, you're going to see him in 5 of the 7 games. He's gone into Rob Thompson's office after every game he's pitched and said, listen, I'm available tomorrow. He gets here to the ballpark. First thing he does, he finds Rob Thompson and says, listen, I'm good to go. So he doesn't ever duck away from taking the baseball.
1-2 to Bregman. Bregman strikes out swinging. That's the off-speed stuff at 95 from Alvarado.
It's the cutter.
There's the new pitch, the cutter. We go to the 6th in Houston. It's 5-5 in game 1. Dave Fleming, Dan Plesac. Dan, it's game 1.
And this is like, it feels like it's the 15th inning. It's had so many ups and downs. It looked like the Astros in a runaway going into the 4th, up 5-0. Verlander on cruise control, and what the Phillies do best, they just keep fighting and clawing their way right back into it.
And now another reliever with unbelievable stuff. First guy out of the bullpen, Brian Abreu, young right-hander.
Oh no! Did he go?
Boehm did not go. On ball 1.
Yeah, another on a long line of some really deep bullpen guys. Brian Pena 25-year-old from the Dominican Republic, big arm, gets it up there 97 to 100 miles an hour. Slider, what you saw that first pitch, is his best swing and miss pitch, and a strike thrower.
And had a little big league experience before this year. Not much of it, though. Bohm flips one to right. Tucker coming in to make the catch for round number 1. And he has very quickly, late in the season, he's taken the job of some excellent relievers. He's just been so good that he's climbed that relief ladder for Dusty Baker.
Yeah, he's turned into one of the high leverage guys for Dusty. And one of the great qualities about him too, Dave, is you can use him for multiple hitters. He's not just a 3-hitter guy. You can use him for an inning and a third, inning and 2/3. He can get more than multiple guys out.
Part of this Astros bullpen that has just been almost untouchable. The bullpen ERA for Houston in the playoffs, 0.82.
You'd have to think that would be the huge advantage in this series. Astros bullpen very deep.
Then you watch Jose Alvarado throw and you think, well, I mean, the Phillies aren't totally empty down there.
Yeah, they rely on Alvarado and Sir Anthony Dominguez. I think one of the keys for Dusty Baker, they activated Will Smith. He's on the active roster, so he'll be the lone lefty in the bullpen for the Astros.
1-1 pitch. Stott takes a strike. It's 1-2. Now it is interesting that Zach Eflin is starting to get loose. Now Alvarado, you got Kyle Tucker, who's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs, due to lead off in the bottom of this 6th inning. So you could leave Alvarado in to face Tucker, and then maybe Eflin would be ready to go. Got him with the fastball at 99.
Not much you can do with that one if you're Bryson Stott. When a guy locates 99, he paints on the corners. See, Martin Maldonado didn't really have to frame that much. Bullseye, outside corner, 99 with some life.
So 2 quick outs for Brian Abreu. Nobody on. Gene Segura 0 for 2. Goes after the first pitch. Well, unfortunately for Justin Verlander, all the great success in his Hall of Fame career, this is another World Series start without a win. He will officially not get a win. He won't get a decision tonight.
Yep, coming into tonight's play, 7 World Series starts. He was 0-6 with an ERA north of 5. That ERA is going to go up.
0-2. Abreu looks overpowering. Best bullpen in the game this year, and maybe those 2 numbers correlate. They haven't had to work that hard. They've stayed fresh, and they've been dominant. They're having to work here tonight, though. Segura, strike 3 swinging. Fastball got him. 8 pitches, 2 strikeouts. And the Phillies go down very quietly against Abreu. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Kyle Tucker is coming up.
What an at-bat, last one by Kyle Tucker. Aaron Nola threw everything but the kitchen sink. Fastball in, another one in at 95. Front door breaking ball, he misses. Works the count from 0-2 to 3-2. Here, breaks his bat, little fly ball that was foul. Tough take on another pitch. Gets a 3-2 fastball, inner third, and drills it for a 3-run homer. Not a bad night. First 2 at-bats, a solo bomb and a 3-run bomb.
I mean, that at-bat really was just terrific. So Kyle Tucker, 2 for 2, 2 home runs. Believe it or not, there are 3 other players who hit 2 home runs in their first 2 plate appearances in a World Series. Pablo Sandoval, the last one to do it, and he did it against Justin Verlander back in 2012. Well, Tucker, Verlander's teammate, did it against Aaron Nola. Andrew Jones and Gene Tennis also did that. Tucker swings away on the first pitch from Alvarado. Just a little pop-up. Schwarber was playing deep, about as deep as he could be, but he had plenty of time to get there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Phillies kind of feel like they won the war here. You know, getting back to Tucker. How about this? 4 guys have had a 3 home run game in the World Series. Reggie Jackson, Albert Pujols, Pablo Sandoval, and Babe Ruth did it twice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good list. Rob Thompson's coming out, so Alvarado gets the lefty Tucker and ends up getting 3 total outs. And Rob Thompson is going to now make the move and bring Zach Eflin in the game. Alvarado did his job and more. Phillies have come back to tie the game, going back into their bullpen here, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, one of those 4 guys to have a 3-home-run game. Let's go back to 2012. The Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval. A couple of bombs off of Justin Verlander. And here's the 3rd one. Went down and got it. Boy, there was a time when the Kung Fu Panda, he had the Bay Area. He owned the Bay Area.
That last one was against the great Al Albuquerque. Yeah. That 3rd home run that day. It was amazing. Look, the Giants were massive underdogs in that World Series. Tigers had Miguel Cabrera won a Triple Crown. Verlander, Max Scherzer was a starter. Prince Fielder, Victor Martinez. Almost like the Phillies coming into this series against this Astros team.
I think of the Panda a couple of things too. I remember catching the final out off of Madison Bumgarner, who came out of the bullpen, caught the foul ball by 3rd base and fell on the seat of his pants.
I think that 2014 World Series set the all-time record for most hits in a World Series and caught that final out. Zach Eflin now takes over for Alvarado. 3rd pitcher of the game, Gurriel, swinging bunt. Eflin off the mound, bare hand, throws and pulled Hoskins off the bag. Yuli Gurriel safe with an infield hit.
Not much you can do there if you're Zach Eflin. Little sinker that's down and away, and it was almost one of those swinging bunts by Gurriel, who runs pretty well for a big guy. You have to wonder with the Phillies, you're like, okay, Zeflin's had some issues with his knee. Does a great job trying to get over, but really Gurriel, even though he's right-handed, got out of the box and was smelling a base hit right from the get-go.
Yeah, you do worry about the leg. It almost looked like a little ankle turn from Zach Eflin, a converted starter who's found some success. He's part of the bullpen transformation for the Phillies. ERA better than 3 runs better as a reliever than as a starter. Had a 1.17 ERA out of the bullpen for the Phillies. Trey Mancini needs a hit. He's 0 for 14 in the playoffs. Go ahead run aboard for the Astros here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild game 1.
Ball.
One of the things that Eflin does well when he's throwing the ball well, he has good movement down in the zone. Mancini doesn't run all that well. This Phillies defense has been much improved the last 2 months of the season. Like to get a ground ball, potential ending double play.
Mancini takes a sinker off the outside. It's 2-0. In there, strike 1.
Look at fastball. That's when you're kind of in that spot where Mancini's at. You get a pretty good pitch to hit 2-0. You get a 94-mile-an-hour fastball inner 3rd, but when you're 0 for 14, doubt starts to creep in. You pass on some pitches you probably should take a swing at.
Well, Gurriel, again, an opportunistic base stealer. Doesn't do it often, but when he does pick his spots, he's good at it. And he's the go-ahead run. So you got to pay attention to Gurriel. Mancini, a pop-up. Shallow right. Segura sprinting out. Castellanos coming in. It'll be Castellanos who steps into foul ground and makes the catch.
Nice play there by Castellanos. It came a long way. Shading over a little bit into that right center field area. That ball way up. He does a good job. He came from a long way to get there.
An outfielder not known for his defense, not known for his range, but you're right. That was a good play. And a good call to make sure Segura got out of the way. You always worry in these World Series environments, roof closed, all the noise starts to build. Communication can be a little harder. Here's McCormick, 1 for 2.
Got a case in point. You go back to the league championship series, that fly ball that dropped in between Harrison Bader and Aaron Judge. Miscommunication led to the big inning. A couple of hitters later, Pena hit that big 3-run homer.
Two outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Tie game, a game that was once 5-0 Houston.
Ball.
Sinker, 2-0.
You can see Castellanos, I got it, screaming loud and screaming clear. Good catch on your part, Dave, too. Segura, make sure he peeled away. Not to shield the right fielder. Castellanos, that was a nice play.
There have been a bunch of examples of that in this postseason. You mentioned one of them, Bader and Judge. Fouled away. There was the play in Toronto, Blue Jays Mariners, with the collision, George Springer and Bichette. Chad McCormick, who's had some moments in this postseason. Sometimes it's good to hit at Yankee Stadium.
Tell you what, one thing we learned so far this postseason, he likes the ball down and away from him. That was a very dangerous pitch, that 2-0 pitch from Zach Eflin right there. He put a good pass on it.
Chad McCormick, who grew up a big Phillies fan just outside Philadelphia. His family, all diehard Phillies fans. Not this week.
Conflict of interest, right?
Mom was very clear. There's no conflict when Chaz is involved. We're Astros fans. Chad McCormick on that list of opposite field home run hitters, with Judge, with Stanton, with Harper. It's pretty remarkable, and he's ahead of the count, 3-1. Foul ball, got a piece of Real Muto, got rocked back. Yikes.
Stay there a minute.
That makes you worried if you're a Phillies fan. They cannot lose JT Real Muto.
I'm out. Stay there a minute.
Like getting punched right in the jaw.
Boy, deflection off the glove. Hopefully a little bit of hitting the glove took some steam off of that, but caught him in the bottom lower right portion of the jaw.
Full count, 3-2. Gurriel will get the head start from first. There he goes, and it is ball 4. A couple of the Phillies defenders started to head off the field. They thought that was strike 3.
Yeah, 3-2 breaking ball from Eflin was the right pitch. Definitely inside, but we've seen a couple of balls just off the plate that were called strikes.
So now 2 on with 2 out, and Martin Maldonado has had a lot of big postseason at bats for the Astros over the years. Base hit away, you figure, with Gurriel and his speed at second with 2 down from going back ahead. Maldonado takes low.
Yeah, what makes Maldonado so dangerous in a spot like this in a tie game is he sprays the ball all over the ballpark. You make a good pitch down and away, They can shoot the ball to right field. Really a good call earlier in the game with Dusty Baker. Put a little runner in motion. He hit a ground ball between that hole that Segura had to vacate to try to cover second.
Ball 2. Eflin not real sharp right now. Bullpen's quiet for the Phillies. This is Eflin's spot. Drove in 4 runs in the World Series last year. The Astros came up short against a different team from the NL East. On the ground to third, backhanded by Bohm. He's got a long throw to make. One hop to Hoskins for out number 3. So Eflin gets through it with some help from Alec Bohm and the Phillies defense. Astros threaten, but they do not score. They leave 2. We go to the 7th, a tie game, game 1. It's 5-5. Well, it was all going right for the Astros early in this game, but the story of the Phillies here in the playoffs has just been remarkable, and the Phillies will not go down quietly. They've come back to tie this game into the 7th, game 1 of this 2022 World Series. Zach Eflin got through a little trouble. Abreu stays in on the mound for Houston against the 9-1-2 hitters. Brandon Marsh, his 3rd at bat of the game. He had one of the big hits in the game. Double started the rally that tied it up in the 5th. Set the table for the top of the order.
Ball.
We kind of felt once this series started was a battle of the bullpens. It would be an advantage to the Astros because of the depth and the hard throwers they have in the bullpen. I thought Rob Thompson kind of tipped his hand early how important it was. Brought Alvarado into the game early. This is one of his normally high leverage guys. But I think you're onto something. Maybe we're going to see Ranger Suarez maybe be part of this bullpen activity in the 7th or 8th inning.
Marsh to right center field. A lot of room out there. Kyle Tucker over. 1 away. Now Ranger Suarez using that weighted ball, starting to get loose.
You know, he's a guy too, Dave. He's familiar. He bounced around between the rotation and the bullpen the last couple of years. Found a niche. Starting games, strike thrower. Came in 2/3 of an inning. The league championship clincher to send the Phillies to the World Series.
And just because he might pitch in this game doesn't mean he can't start later in the series. He's not one of those total max effort guys. He's just perfectly suited in a lot of ways to go back and forth. Kyle Schwarber takes the breaking ball, strike 1. So we'll see. I would think if he's up and starting to stretch out, that means at some point tonight we're going to see Ranger Suarez. Kyle Schwarber 0 for 2 with a big walk and a run scored. In the dirt. 1-1. Was not a great start to the playoffs for Kyle Schwarber. It was a pretty darn good National League Championship Series. 6 hits, 3 home runs. That's another slider, or really more like the curveball from Abreu.
And he throws so hard you have to honor it. If you're Schwarber, you have to defend that 98 to 100 miles an hour. He drops that slow curveball in. Go back to 2016. He missed virtually the entire season with the Cubs. Activated right before the postseason. Weren't for Schwarber, the Cubs had no chance to win that World Series.
Good take. Another curveball, 2-2.
Interesting guy, drafted in the first round by the Cubs out of Indiana University. Drafted as a catcher. Shifted around, tried a little bit behind the plate, some first base, moved him around in the outfield. Phillies signed him primarily as to be their DH, but with Bryce Harper going down with an elbow injury, kind of forced him to play a little bit more left field than they thought he would.
It's one back toward Abreu. It deflects off Abreu, then it kicks up and rolls up the arm of Pena, and Schwarber's going to reach base safely.
Might be ruled a base hit. It was deflected. Pena wasn't able to pick it up cleanly.
I would think it would be. That deflection definitely impacted the play, but you're used to seeing the Astros make just about every play on a ball on the ground.
You could kind of see Abreu wasn't sure if he should go ahead and go for it or let the ball go through, and he kind of got it caught in between.
So a little crack here for the Phillies. Rhys Hoskins, it will be scored as a base hit. They'll put the overshift on for the right-handed hitter Hoskins. Way outside, ball one.
Yeah, and if you're Abreu, one of the things you don't want to do, Hoskins really a good low ball hitter. Likes the ball coming back into him, that sinker. He kind of has that uppercut swing. You can't throw it too hard or too low that he can't get the barrel to it.
Phillies now are right into the heart of their order. Schwarber at first, one out. Hoskins with Real Muto on deck, and then Bryce Harper. Got the call on the outside, 1-1 with the slider. Two and one. Now the two home run hitters for the Phillies, Hoskins and Bryce Harper. Hoskins in blue, Harper in red. Hey, you get a pitch out over the plate, take advantage of it. Pound those mistakes. That's what Rhys Hoskins has done so well. That might have counted as one of those.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a backup slider. You can see where Maldonado was sitting down and away. That ball backed up. See, he wants his ball down and away. It's kind of center cut.
2-2. Got him. Two down.
Gutsy pitch there by Abreu. He hung the pitch before that was called a strike. A lot of times as a hitter you'll think, well, the pitcher's not going to go back to that one, and Abreu backs that back door one up with one that was nasty right here down and away. High spin. You can see Hoskins, he's reading fastball all the way. You see the tight rotation on that. Just perfectly executed down and away.
So Hoskins is gone. Now Real Muto, who doubled in 2 runs to tie the game back in the 5th against Verlander, the Astros starter. 1 for 3. Just took a foul ball off the mask a few minutes ago. Couple home runs in the postseason, including an inside the park home run. A catcher with an inside the park home run. slider. And this was the moment against the Braves. Ronald Acuna took a lot of criticism for not helping Michael Harris out, but the other part of the play was JT Realmuto chugging around the bases.
Yeah, there might not be a catcher in baseball that runs quite as well as this guy does. He can run well. You'd think after all these years of being behind the plate, spent a long time with the Marlins, that he would begin to slow down, but so far the wheels are still there.
I mean, it is true. He first came up, JT Realmuto did, a long time ago. His first big league season was 2014. It's a lot of wear and tear. He can still fly. Fastball off the outside at 99.
Well, it's almost like since the fourth inning started, this Phillies lineup just a different approach. Not chasing pitches off the plate. Making the Astros pitchers work to throw strikes. I mean, Justin Verlander was on cruise control for 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down. And then the fourth and fifth inning for Verlander were a disaster.
Schwarber runs. The pitch was taken. The throw is too late, and Kyle Schwarber has stolen second base. He's in scoring position as the go-ahead run.
What a heads-up play there, too, by Realmuto. Not trying to swing at that, understanding you've got a good look at it if you're a right-handed hitter. You can see that Schwarber got a great jump.
Ball.
The Phillies like to run. That's his third steal of the playoffs. And you got a good hitter's count. A base hit away from the Phillies taking their first lead of the game. You also have Bryce Harper on deck. If you walk Realmuto, Harper comes up with 2 on.
Yeah, this is a tough spot if you're Abreu right now. I still think with the base open, though, you're going to have to treat it like you just don't want to lay one down Broadway. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3-1 breaking ball here to Realmuto.
Here comes a 3-1. That's what it was, and it's ball 4. Not close. Realmuto draws the walk. 2 on, 2 out, and you know who is coming up.
You know, I think one of the thinking there, it just seems tonight that the Astros have attacked Harper with a good fastball, and with a base open right there with Realmuto, maybe this will be a meeting on the mind to just say, okay, listen, he's had a difficult time chasing that fastball up in the zone, and Abreu's fastball right now is better than Verlander's. He's 98 to 100. I'd be surprised in this at bat if Harper saw anything other than a steady diet of heaters up in the zone. If he wants to chase, great, but don't speed his bat up throwing him anything down in the zone.
You had Hector Neris, the former Philly, up kind of moving around in the bullpen, but they're going to stick with Abreu. I love that shot. Bryce Harper swing and a moment that Phillies fans will never forget. The swing that got the Phillies into the World Series. The go-ahead home run, down by a run. Philadelphia went ahead, hung on for dear life, finished off the Padres, and here they are. First World Series game in the great career of Bryce Harper.
Yeah, one of the things you have to be careful if you're Abreu. You want to go with that fastball, but you have to get it up and elevated. Anything outer third between knee and belt high right into this guy's wheelhouse, particularly the left center field.
2 on, 2 out. Harper takes, call the ball right at the knees, ball 1.
You can see him holding out on the body language. He wanted that call. That's a big pitch. Ball in the bottom of the zone, looked like it was just caught enough of it. Yeah, and it was a good pitch.
Now time. That was the catcher Maldonado. He wanted Abreu to go through everything again. What a spot here for Bryce Harper and the Phillies. Down 5-0 in the early innings. A chance to go ahead for the first time in game 1. Abreu. Ball 2.
Timeout.
Phillies been really good with runners in scoring position in this game. They've had a lot of determined at bats. They've scored 3 of their 5 runs with 2 outs. He played a lot of games, Bryce Harper, and a lot of big games without ever appearing in the World Series before tonight. Ahead of the count, 2-0. Very high. That was the 30th pitch. I said very high. It snapped back closer to the strike zone, but still high. And it makes you wonder if Bryan Abreu is starting to fatigue a little bit.
Now you're really up against it if you're Abreu. You've got Castellanos on deck. You almost have to treat this as though, okay, listen, I'm not going to give him anything to hit. You'll have a right-on-right situation with Castellanos, and Neris is up in the bullpen, a former Philly.
3-0. Harper takes a strike. Well, if you were going to swing 3-0, I don't think that was the pitch to swing at.
No, but I think anything that's close right here, you're going to see Harper come unglued.
I think he was ready to swing. Still a great hitter's count for Bryce Harper. Tie game, 7th inning. 32nd pitch for Abreu, and it's not close. Ball 4. Harper draws the walk. The bases are loaded for the Phillies, and we'll see if Abreu's coming out. He is. Dusty Baker did not hesitate. Well, Nick Castellanos coming up has already had one big hit in this game. And he's going to face a former Phillies reliever.
Hector Neris, guy with a nasty split finger.
So Harper takes the walk. Bases are loaded. 2 down here in the 7th. Tie game. We'll be back right after this. Well, what a spot for the former Philly, longtime Phillies reliever. First year here in Houston. Hector Neris, who's pitched well for the Astros, inherits a bases loaded situation.
Big time split finger. Look at the strikeouts to walks, 79 punch outs, 17 walks. One of the things you know with Nick Castellanos, he's going to go up there swinging. So I think the first pitch, very important for Hector Neris. He's going to bury that split finger, make sure it's down in the zone.
Hector's still a beloved player. When you talk to a lot of the current Phillies, especially their relievers, they love Hector Neris. Tie game, 7th inning. Game 1 of the World Series. Bases loaded. 2 down. Castellanos the hitter. And the first pitch. Runs down and in. A fastball for ball 1.
Yeah, he's thrown more fastballs since he's put on a Astros uniform. His velo's been better this year too. 95 to 97 miles an hour. But the signature pitch is that split finger. When he gets in trouble, that's what he goes to.
Castellanos had a lot of success in his career with the bases loaded. The pitch. He swings away and chased badly. That was not close. 1-1.
Back-to-back heaters. That one 95 with some movement down and in. Two-seamer with a lot of run.
Now that was a gift for Neris and the Astros, because there's nowhere to put him. A walk puts the Phillies ahead. That could have easily been 2-0. Schwarber, Real Muto, Harper, the runners out there. Zero margin for error for Neris coming into this game. And you can feel the tension here at Minute Maid Park. Nervous energy. Castellanos, foul ball. Went after that sinker. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you know what? If you're Castellanos, you know in the back of your mind he has that good split finger. He's gone 3 consecutive sinkers. 95, 95, 95. In his second at bat, Castellanos did a great job off of Verlander. Hit a good breaking ball that was down and away to drive in a couple of runs.
Here's the 1-2. Castellanos held up barely.
Swing his bat. Timeout.
That splitter. Castellanos found a way to not swing.
Boy, a nice job there by Maldonado, too. Does a great job getting down, knocking it down with his chest protector. That pitch looks so good. Castellanos does a great job holding back.
2-2. Neris throws. Castellanos strikes out swinging. He got him with the splitter. So the Phillies load the bases, but Hector Neris saves the moment for the Astros with a huge sequence there to strike out Nick Castellanos. 7th inning stretch time here in Game 1 of the World Series. Still tied 5-5. Well, what a pitch, what a moment for Hector Neris, the longtime Phillies reliever. Bases loaded, 2 down, and he strikes out Nick Castellanos to help Abreu and the Astros get through a big-time jam and keep this Game 1 of the World Series tied. It's 5-5. Meanwhile, Kyle Tucker, the star for Houston here tonight. First 2 at-bats in this World Series, 2 home runs.
Yeah, he's been kind of the offense for the Astros. 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Solo home run and a 3-run bomb, both against Aaron Nola.
Tucker and the Astros had a 5-0 lead, and Justin Verlander in the early innings was just cruising. He retired the first 10 hitters of the game.
Yeah, first 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down. You touched on it, Dave. First 10 hitters was just carved through the Phillies. Then all of a sudden, the 4th inning, things started to change. The Phillies started to put the ball in play. A lot of this swing and miss was gone. And what the Phillies have done so well this postseason, they just keep coming and coming and coming. Relentless ABs. They made Verlander work, and they chased him in the 5th.
So the Phillies tied with the Astros, 5-5. Great scene here in Houston. The Astros fans have gotten used to this World Series thing. 4th time in the last 6 years the Astros have been in the Fall Classic. And great chance here for Houston with the top of the order coming up now in a tie game. Zach Eflin's going to stay in the game, at least for now. We'll see. You got Alvarez, the left-hander, looming. We saw Ranger Suarez warming up in the Phillies bullpen. You would assume, I would assume, that that's the guy that Rob Thompson has sort of circled for Ranger Suarez. First things first, a guy who's been a postseason hero so many times for the Astros, but struggling in these playoffs. Jose Altuve. First pitch swinging, pulls one foul. He's 3 for 35. It seems impossible.
Zach Eflin's had some issues with his control tonight. He's been able to wiggle through a lot of 3-ball counts, and Jose Altuve right now really doesn't want to help him out.
On the ground is short. Stott's got it, and he throws out Altuve, who's 0 for 4.
It's kind of been the story of the Phillies postseason. They've had a different hero every night. Either position player, Bryce Harper with a big home run. They've had some relievers step up. Go back to the clinching game against the Padres. Ranger Suarez, the starter, comes out of the bullpen, records a save on 2 pitches, and Zach Eflin, who was a starter most of the season, has found himself in the bullpen. And I'll say this, Ryan, Rob Thompson has a good idea of what his pitchers can and can't do, and he puts them in spots to succeed.
Sign of good manager. And Jeremy Pena, who in some ways has picked up the baton from Altuve, the guy who's had so many big playoff hits this year for Houston. He's got a double in this game tonight and a run scored. And plenty of power to untie this game with one swing. Tough times for Jose Altuve. That one bounced to first. Hoskins has it. 2 down.
Somebody in that Phillies dugout, defensive placement, getting a shake of the hand right there. Well played there by Hoskins. Had him positioned perfectly.
Well, and as we expected with Yordan Alvarez coming up, Even with the bases empty, 2 down, the Phillies are going to make a pitching change.
Pretty simple play by Rhys Hoskins, but a great job by the Phillies baseball ops putting a player in the right spot.
So Ranger Suarez, who we do expect is going to start a game in this series, but here in game 1, he's coming out of the bullpen to face one of the game's great hitters, Yordan Alvarez. Tie game, bottom 7, pitching change. Back right after this. All right, so you bring in the lefty to face the lefty Yordan Alvarez. The problem is, how much of an advantage does that give you? Highest OPS in the history of the game. Left-handed hitter against left-handed pitchers. Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, Lou Gehrig, Ted Williams, and sandwiched in there, Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, I think one of the things you can't do with this guy, I'm a firm believer, left on left, the safest place is to go down and away. And Robbie Ray tried to go and throw that 2-seamer in. He likes the ball coming into him. Left on left, he called it old Little League term bailing or leaking a little bit. I think you need to keep the ball down. You need to keep it away. Make him think left field. Don't try to run the ball in. He has too much pop.
A guy who could change the feel of this game and this World Series with one swing, Ranger Suarez, who's done a great job for the Phillies in 2 different roles, mostly, almost exclusively now as a starter, but coming out of the bullpen here in game 1. A guy with great command. Tie game, 2 down. Throws one down and away for a ball.
That's the safest place to go. And Ranger doesn't throw that hard where he can challenge him with a fastball. You know, Robbie Ray kind of got in that spot maybe where his adrenaline got the best of him in that Seattle series. Safest place, down and away, keep the ball down, make him think left field.
The 1-0 pitch. That one called a strike. Suarez only allowed 2 home runs to a left-handed hitter all year. It is interesting that the Astros, as good as their team is, they were not an explosive offensive team late in the game. Now, part of that is they didn't play a lot of bottom of the 9ths. They were lacking some innings because they won so many games here at home.
Yeah, this is a spot if you're Suarez that you hate to be in with a guy like Alvarez. You fall behind the count 2-1, but you almost have to pitch this guy like a base is open. You've got Bregman on deck.
He's just too good, too dangerous. 2-1. That's a strike.
Good cut fastball, 93 with a little bit of cut. He's thrown a couple of breaking balls in this at bat right now, kind of non-competitive. Alvarez didn't even offer at him. I think if Ranger could somehow muster up a good breaking ball, but make it appear to be a strike, maybe he could get Yordan to chase something down and away.
2-2. Alvarez took one inside, full count. Suarez trying to hear the pitch come with all the noise. Got him swinging. Ranger Suarez comes out of the bullpen and strikes out one of the game's great hitters. Rob Thompson looking like he's making all the right moves here tonight.
Pulling all the right moves. Just been brilliant out of the bullpen.
So we go to the 8th inning here in Houston. Tie game, 5-5. Phillies and the Astros after Ranger Suarez strikes out Yordan Alvarez to end the 7th. Inning number 8 here in game 1 of this 2022 World Series, Minute Maid Park in Houston, and we are tied. It is 5-5. And the Philadelphia Phillies, Alec Bohm is going to lead off here. He's done it with his bat. He's also, Dan, done it with his defense in these postseasons.
You know, Rob Thompson told us before the game, Dave, that he thinks he's the most improved big leaguer from one year to the next. Not only defensively, he's made all the plays. They worked on his footwork. His throwing has become very accurate. They've always thought he was going to hit the big league level, but boy, he has turned himself into a terrific player.
Had a 2-run double back in the 4th when the Phillies were starting their comeback, down 5-0. Facing the new pitcher, the right-hander Rafael Montero. Another weapon for Dusty Baker in that Astros bullpen.
Yeah, it's kind of the same movie. A guy with a big arm. 73 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 68 in the 3rd innings. Strike thrower, power guy.
There's a strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-2.
I think if you'd have told most fans or asked most fans a couple of months ago the Phillies were to get in the game and it would be a battle of the bullpens, and you'd think they would never win many of those games, but it's a much improved bullpen.
Their defense has been good tonight. It's a big part of the story of this Phillies team, the improvements they've made as the season's gone on. Bohm strikes out swinging. Just nasty from Montero.
Not only velocity, but the movement. 96 miles an hour. This one ties Bohm up. Look at the movement in. Little two-seamer with some life to it.
Lowest bullpen earned run average in all of baseball. Not a coincidence. 4 of the best teams in the game with that bullpen ERA. Here's the rookie shortstop Bryson Stott, 0 for 2 with a walk. Foul ball.
This game has taken so many crazy twists and turns. Astros jump out to a 5-run lead. We've touched on it. Verlander was so dominant through the first 10 hitters, and then in the 4th inning things fell apart. Phillies added on a couple of more runs in the 5th.
0-2. I think Stott deserves some credit. And the walk he had did not end up helping the Phillies add any runs in that 4th inning. But it was a 10-pitch plate appearance against Verlander, and the Phillies the very next inning got 2 more runs. There's a big sequence in this game. Off the outside. So he's seen, including that last one, 23 pitches tonight in 4 trips up there.
And the Phillies did something that's not easy to do against Verlander, who looks so locked in. They made him work. Starting the 4th inning, very few swings and misses. Stopped chasing balls out of the zone. It's like a tale of 2 different Philly hitters.
1-2. Stott out toward right center field. McCormick chasing. McCormick will ease up and get there just short of the warning track for out number 2. Just did not quite square it up enough. 2 down.
You know, the one part of the ballpark, if you're a pitcher, where you'd like to have him hit it, it's deep in right center field. 409 to straightaway center field, and there's that little gap between the bullpen area. You can keep balls in the air there. They go out there and they die.
You know, it's interesting. Both of the ballparks in this World Series, here in Houston and in Philadelphia, similar in that way, where they got some home run friendly spots and some pitcher friendly spots. And if you look at the park factors, you know, they have numbers that sort of tell you how a ballpark plays over time. First pitch to Segura, and he pops it up. Both these parks have played very neutral, fair for hitters and pitchers. Montero, that was dominant. Retired the Phillies in order on just 8 pitches. And some big hitters coming up for Houston. In a tie game, we go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Bregman and Kyle Tucker for the Astros, and then Yuli Gurriel 5-5 in game 1. Tie game, bottom of the 8th here in Houston, and Alex Bregman getting ready to hit for the Astros. Bregman, who over his career has had so many big moments in this postseason, has turned it up a couple notches. Game 2 of that American League Championship Series right here. 3-run homer.
Yeah, I think it was a long offseason for Bregman. Had a very disappointing postseason in 2021. He's come back with a vengeance. Your Ranger Suarez, be awful careful, middle of the plate in, lightning quick bat.
Well, the Astros hitter, since Kyle Tucker hit that second home run in the 3rd inning, 1 for 15. And to your point, the Philadelphia bullpen, beleaguered for so much of this season, it's a different unit right now.
And what's beautiful about Ranger Suarez, if you're a fan of the Phillies, he's a guy that's been a starter most of the season. So you figure he can give you some length. He might give you at least another inning, possibly 2 innings. I would assume the next guy would be Sir Anthony Dominguez and or David Robertson. The circle of trust isn't as deep with the Philly bullpen as it is with the Astros.
First pitch swing and the wrong guy to hit it to. Ranger Suarez snags the comebacker. Maybe the best fielding pitcher in baseball. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, Rob Thompson told us before the game he thinks the best 2 defensive pitchers as far as defense is he and Max Fried of the Braves. He snags this one and takes his time, just a stroll in the park.
Looked like a pickup game. Amazing. It's a tie game in the 8th inning of the World Series.
I mean, you look at his body language. It's just like he's out in the backyard in Venezuela, just playing a little pitch and catch with his brothers in the backyard.
Well, don't just throw one down the middle to this guy, though. Kyle Tucker, 2 for 3, 2 home runs against the starter Aaron Nola. Trying to join some rarefied air. And fouls that one off and broke his bat for the 2nd time in this game. Strike 1.
You know, I just can't get over what Rob Thompson, the way he's used his bullpen. He went to Alvarado early. To go back to that clinching game against the Padres, to have the trust in a guy in Suarez who hadn't pitched really in the 9th inning as a reliever in such a long time, to just trust and know your pitcher. Puts his pitchers in great spots, and a bullpen, as you touched on, Dave, that had been maligned and beleaguered all season long. They've turned it around, and now they've become to where I wouldn't know if it would be a strength as is with the Astros, but they're certainly getting big outs when they need to get them.
Hold on the ground, foul. It's 0-2. And to your point, they have 2 more guys even after Suarez that I think they feel like they really trust. So they're not empty down there. Dominguez is the guy right now. Sir Anthony Dominguez starting to get prepared. Tie game, bottom 8. Oh, 2.
Ball.
Took that one low. Meanwhile, the closer for Houston, a guy who these days almost feels untouchable, Ryan Presley.
They're throwing the ball really good. He was terrific in the league championship series against the Yankees. Throwing strikes, breaking ball was on point.
One-two. Tucker, line drive, base hit. Past the range of Stott, playing over in the shift. What a night for Kyle Tucker. Not a home run, but his 3rd hit against a real tough lefty.
Boy, and almost impossible to do. The Phillies shifting there to right field. They have Gene Segura almost playing in deep right center field. Not much real estate for Tucker to get this ball to get through, and he has about a 5-foot area to get it through. Another barrel here. You see him barrels this one up. What a night, 3 hits. You see Stott, shortstop, playing at that second base position.
Well, you're going to get it through that shift. You better hit it hard. He hit it 108 miles an hour. So Kyle Tucker having a monster game 1, and Ranger Suarez now will come out of the game. Maybe part of this, Dan, is to try to just preserve Ranger Suarez. They do need him to be a starter at some point, probably game 4. And now Dominguez will jog in from the Philadelphia bullpen. So the Astros have the go-ahead run on base here in the 8th. Back right after this. Well, Sir Anthony Dominguez, who had an excellent regular season but has been totally dominant in the playoffs, out of the Philadelphia bullpen, 5th pitcher of the night for the Phillies. Kyle Tucker, great base runner, a lot of speed at first, go-ahead run, tie game. And Dominguez, part of his task, Dan, is to pay attention to Kyle Tucker over there at first base.
And I'll tell you what, talk about bad conditions. Sunday afternoon, last Sunday, the clincher came in the 8th inning. It was raining, miserable conditions at Citizens Bank Ballpark. A couple of wild pitches. This guy has tremendous stuff, and he really is responsible for order being restored to that Phillies bullpen. Spent some time on the IL, came back late August, early September, throwing the ball great. He, along with Alvarado, the 1-2 punch in that Phillies bullpen.
Go ahead run at first, 1 out. Gurriel on the ground. Bohm backhands it. Bohm will go to second, gets one. Segura to first, not in time. Great attempt by the Phillies defense to turn what would have been a spectacular double play. As it is, nice job getting it out.
And a gutsy play there by Bohm to go ahead and cut that lead runner down. Now you've got a guy at first base that doesn't run quite as well. This is really a terrific play. Ball that takes him towards the line, throws a strike to Segura. See Gurriel for a righty, gets out of the box pretty well.
So he gives Trey Mancini a chance here. There's that 92-mile-an-hour slider from Dominguez, strike 1.
Yeah, and if Trey Mancini, one of the things he's had a difficult time. He's 0 for 15 in the postseason. He's putting himself in some bad counts by chasing some pitches in early counts. If you're Dominguez right now, I think you're going to see a steady diet of that hard breaking ball down and away.
He got him to chase there, man. That slider at 93 miles an hour.
Another good one, 93, and it has a lot of life. You can see Real Muto sitting out, almost getting his entire chest protector into that left-handed batter's box.
The 0-2. Got him with the slider again. So Sir Anthony Dominguez comes out of the Phillies bullpen, strikes out another hitter this postseason, and the Phillies bullpen going toe-to-toe with the Astros here in Game 1. Tie game, 5-5. We go to inning number 9. Well, we talked about it right at the start of our broadcast. Only one other time the Phillies and the Astros have met in playoff history. That was back when the Astros were still in the National League. They met in the NLCS 1980. It's the only playoff series in history with 4 extra inning games, all the late inning offense, incredible drama, controversy, umpire rulings, collisions at home plate, and the star power that was on the field in that series. And who knows? Maybe Game 1 of this second meeting in the postseason, Phillies-Astros, could be headed toward extra innings.
How the game has changed, right? Greg Lazinski hit the only one in the 5-game series.
As some people consider it the most dramatic playoff series in history. 1 home run in 5 games. Brandon Marsh against the closer, Ryan Presley, in a tie game. There won't be a save situation tonight for the Astros, so Presley comes in with that otherworldly curveball.
And he was really good in the league championship series against the Yankees. The only knock on Presley at times is control will get a little bit erratic. Have a tough time getting that breaking ball over, but when he's throwing it for strikes, he's tough to hit.
There's a strike. A curveball slider. It's 0-2. Now, both teams' bullpens have been excellent. Not many hits, no runs. Presley trying to keep this game tied and give the Astros a chance to walk it off with a run in the bottom of the 9th. Marsh held up on the curve. We were in the clubhouse today talking to some of Ryan Presley's bullpen teammates, and the way that they talk about Ryan Presley, you ask an innocent question, what makes this guy so good? And their eyes just light up. He does things they believe that nobody else in the game can do. The way he spins the ball just generates an incredible amount of spin on his breaking stuff. One, two. Almost hit him. Slider toward the back foot.
What's been amazing, just watching this offense of the Phillies, it seemed like for the first 3 innings they were just kind of in that swing mode, and from the 4th inning on they just made the Astros pitchers work, and they stopped chasing balls out of the zone, chasing the fastball up. They've made the Astros pitchers bring the ball into the strike zone. It's been kind of a tale of 2 different teams.
Schwarber in the top of the order on deck. 2-2 to Marsh. On the ground, right side. Altuve there. 1 away. That's an auspicious day in Phillies history. It was on this date back in 2009, the last time the Phillies were in the World Series. Game 1, and Chase Utley at Yankee Stadium went deep, not once, but twice. One of the all-time great Phillies. There is no way anybody on that team in 2009 thought that would be the last chance that group would have to play in the World Series.
To me, very similar to the 2016 Cub teams, right? I looked at the Cubs, and you looked at that run with the Phillies. It looked like their pitching staff was the envy of everyone in baseball. The Cubs had that everyday lineup, and it just goes to show you how hard it is to be good, and to be good and sustain a run. It really is tough.
And this guy, Kyle Schwarber, part of that 2016 Cubs World Series winning team. Schwarber, Rizzo, Bryant, and so many more. And there's nobody left of that group. So Anthony Dominguez staying ready. I think we'll see him in the bottom of the 9th. Tie game. Presley got the call there with the curveball. It's 1-1.
Schwarber didn't like it. Looked like it may have been a ball inside off the plate.
Ball.
That one was off the inside and called a ball.
Montero does a great job of selling this pitch, and I think that's what you get the fan reaction. You start to hear the boos. He's a great framer. He presents the ball and makes it look like a strike.
So it's 2-1 to Kyle Schwarber, led the National League with 46 home runs in the regular season. That one on the outside. That was a changeup. It's 2-2.
Really good pitch, and if you're Schwarber, that's probably the last thing you were looking for him. First 3 pitches, all breaking balls, hard, cutting in towards him. He gets the straight changeup that fades away.
The 2-2. Schwarber rips one foul. Turned on that one.
You know, the more you get a chance to watch Schwarber, the more he grows on you as a hitter. There's some swing and miss that's in his game, but Rob Thompson told us before, when he gets locked in, he shortens and tightens that swing up. When he's swinging at strikes, and he has a flair for the dramatic too.
Angry there against one of the great relievers in the game. That one bounced, maybe 5 feet in front of home plate. 3-2.
Pretty good at bat that he's putting on right now. You got Hoskins on the on-deck circle. You just wonder if somehow that Schwarber would be able to get on, if they would consider maybe running for him at first base.
Well, he has stolen a base tonight. I mean, he has a little bit of a knack for when they need it. He's got some instincts as a base runner for a guy his size. Now time. Presley.
Well, I think if you're Presley, you've gone this far in this at bat throwing an assortment of breaking pitches. I'd be hard pressed to think that he's going to get anything other than a breaking ball, something breaking down and in.
3-2. Schwarber takes strike 3 called. And he went back with the changeup. Just a perfect pitch, 2 down.
Boy, he made some good pitches in that at bat to Schwarber. 3-2, a tough pitch. See where Maldonado's sitting up, and he bullseye inner third.
Wow.
There it is. You see the grip, the circle changeup grip. Has just enough tailing action. Maldonado does a good job of framing it.
So 2 down. Here's Hoskins.
Ball.
Curve low. Hoskins, not a ton of hits this postseason, but a lot of big hits. And 5 home runs. Fouls that one back.
Oh, he'd like to have that one back right there. That was a hanger from Presley, and he knew it as soon as he threw it. That's one that Hoskins would love to get that one back. He was right on that one too. See, this ball is intended to be down and away. It was a little bit of a backup slider.
The 1-1. Hoskins, a sky-high pop-up. Out to short. Pena underneath it. Out number 3. Just barely. My goodness. Wow. Ryan Presley looking at Jeremy Pena like, we good?
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. All right, we go to the bottom of the 9th. A run will win it for the Astros. Drama, game 1 here in Houston. Pena, wow. That was close. Take a deep breath, Ryan Presley. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
I don't believe what I just saw.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
Game 1 walk-offs in World Series history. That's at the top of the list. One of the great moments in the history of the game. Will we have a game 1 walk-off here tonight in Houston? Sir Anthony Dominguez pitches. Chas McCormick hits a foul on the first pitch here in the bottom of the 9th.
What an effort by both teams' bullpen. The Phillies bullpen, much maligned most of the season, has turned it around. The last 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season, they've been brilliant in the postseason. Good look at Ranger Suarez, came in 2/3 scoreless.
McCormick, foul ball. It's 0-2. So the Phillies trying to survive for extra innings. The Astros trying to win it here in the bottom of the 9th. A game that Houston led 5-0 with their ace, with the future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander on the mound. Phillies tied it up in the 5th, and nobody's scored since.
You wonder if Dusty Baker would run Ryan Presley back out for a second inning if they don't score here in the bottom of the 9th.
Interesting question. Bullpen is working though for Houston, which would make you think that probably the answer is no. Probably. Presley threw 15 pitches in that top of the 9th inning. Luis Garcia is the guy getting loose. 1-2. High. McCormick's been on base twice here in game one. It's been a while since we've had a walk-off home run from the bottom part of the order. Alex Gonzalez back in 2003. 2-2. Got him. That's that slider at 92 miles an hour. Out number one.
Sir Anthony Dominguez, you can see why he's so difficult to hit. Not only throws 98 to 100, and good look at Garcia warming up in the bullpen. And when you see a guy throwing and putting as much energy and force into that, there's a pretty good chance we're going to see Garcia. If the Astros don't score here in the bottom of the ninth, I would assume he'll be the pitcher in the 10th.
Well, Dusty Baker is going to go to his bench. Martin Maldonado, the catcher. And Dusty will use Christian Vasquez, second catcher on this Astros team. So Maldonado's game one is over. Vasquez maybe a little more threat to hit one out. That's a strike.
You know, there were some rumblings around the Phillies after the game 5 when Sir Anthony had difficulties throwing strikes against the Padres in those brutal conditions. What was it going to be like? Hey, was that the beginning of maybe he was starting to unravel in the postseason? But boy, any thoughts of that have been dismissed. He's as sharp tonight as he's been the last 4.5, 5 weeks.
Christian Vasquez last year playing for the Red Sox in the division series had a walk-off home run in a playoff game. Foul ball. 1-2.
Yeah, really good fastball there from Sir Anthony. 98 miles an hour, kind of bearing in on Vasquez. It's what makes Sir Anthony so hard to hit. To run that fastball in on your knuckles, to throw that hard breaking ball down and away. You got a 1-ball 2-strike count. You got a couple of pitches to work with. You might take a shot at trying to bury that breaking ball down and away.
Ball. He didn't bury it, but he missed outside. 2-2. Altuve in the on-deck circle. Phillies have bullpen action themselves. David Robertson's warming up behind Dominguez. Ball. Way outside. So full count here, 3-2. There's Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson started that 9th inning. Got a quick strikeout on a pretty close 3-2 pitch, then consecutive walks back to back. Forced Rob Thompson to bring Ranger Suarez in that game against the Padres.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3 on what would have been ball 4.
Yeah, a lot of cut action on that fastball that was 96 miles an hour. A couple of breaking balls that Vasquez didn't bite after, but he throws so hard you have to honor it. You can see Realmuto sitting up, and this ball kind of has a life of its own. He kind of cut it off. Vasquez just can't hold up.
He knew it. So now 2 down. Wouldn't it be something with all the struggles of Jose Altuve? 0 for 4 here in game 1. Only 3 hits all postseason. He takes a strike, even though Realmuto dropped the ball. James Hoy, the home plate umpire, called it a strike, which it was. I mean, it really is incredible Jose Altuve second on, I know he's played a lot of games, but still second on the all-time postseason home run list in the history of the game.
Ball.
1-1.
No, if you're looking for a little bit of a glimmer of hope, he bounced into a double play in the second, but he hit the ball right on the screws. In this last at bat too, he squared one up pretty good. You look at the scorebook and you see an 0 for 4, but he's had some pretty good swings tonight.
The 1-1. Altuve swings right through that fastball. 1-2. Just a challenge from Dominguez.
You can tell. Watch this front shoulder and his hip start to open up right now. He's just basically anything that's on that outer third. You see that hip leaking. And if he hits anything to right field, he really can't hit for much power with it. If you're Dominguez, I think you want to stay right on that outside corner.
1-2. Check swing, foul. Stay on the outside corner or even off the outside
if he wants to chase. And it's a tough spot that Altuve's in right now. He's kind of caught in that middle, Dave, where he's a click behind the fastball and he's out front of that breaking ball. And that's a dangerous place to be.
Pena would hit next here in the bottom of the ninth. Phillies trying to get to the 10th. 2 down, nobody on. The 1-2. Altuve, fly ball, shallow center. Marsh got a late break. Marsh coming in, and he's not going to get there. It drops in. Base hit, Jose Altuve.
Well, you can kind of understand it. You're playing that no doubles defense, particularly in center field. You certainly don't want the ball to get hit over your head. And with the big swing from Altuve, his first step was kind of to freeze. And that was really the difference in being able to get to this ball, and it drops in. You can see he hits this thing right off the end of the bat. And he knows he didn't hit it very well. You see Marsh is playing so deep. His first 2 steps are back. Kind of hit right in that Bermuda Triangle, right out of the range of Stott.
So now the rookie Jeremy Pena, winning run at first with speed. Altuve, last of the ninth. Altuve runs the pitch outside. Real Muto throws, not in time. Great tag by Gene Segura. Altuve had a huge jump, and he steals his way into scoring position. And the Phillies may want to look. Got nothing to lose. All right, the microphone not quite working for the crew chief Dan Asanya, but the Phillies are challenging.
Boy, you're right. He does get a great jump and a great catch and throw. It looked like he was able to get that right foot in before the tag of Segura.
It was close. A great tag. He caught the ball with his glove already on the leg. Wow.
I don't know if there's enough evidence to turn this around, but this angle here is certainly a lot closer. You're right, Dave. That throw took him right into the right thigh area.
Maybe this one. Does the foot get to that bag? Wow. That's about as close
it
as
is.
It can be.
I would really be surprised if this is turned.
I mean, it goes without saying, this is a huge replay review and challenge. Talking about the winning run in the 9th inning, or go to the 10th, inning over. Winning run into scoring position if the call stands. Just a great edit. It shows you why it's so hard to run on JT Realmuto, and then Segura on the back end.
I mean, when this play first developed, the jump that Altuve, it was like 2 or 3 strides before Dominguez was even delivering the ball.
I thought no chance.
Right? You're almost like, hey, put it in your pocket.
After
Like
review, the call on the field stands. Run is 6. Philadelphia has won 7 innings.
Wow. And will that be the difference?
Well, there are stolen bases and then there are money bags. And boy, this is about as clutch a stolen base as you could get. Talk about really close. You can see the toe there on his right foot. Looks like it may have just gotten there before the throw. What a catch and throw by Real Muto. And a great tag by Segura.
So now Pena in a 1-ball, no strike count. Winning run in scoring position. Pena takes a strike. The slider. 1-1. They have to think the presence of Yordan Alvarez also looms over this at bat. He's in the on deck circle. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball, shallow right. Going to be a tough play. Castellanos will slide and he makes the catch. And that saves the game for the Phillies for now.
Reminiscent of the catch he made against the Braves, sliding from right field. What a play by Castellanos.
Amazing. Not known for his defense, not at all. And yet, his second spectacular sliding catch in this postseason. I think the Astros thought off the bat that this game was over. But Castellanos found a way to get there. The Phillies survive to extra innings. It's hard to put this team away, isn't it?
It is. They just refuse to lose.
So 5-5, that close to game over. Real Muto and Harper coming up in the 10th here in Houston. Wow, what a play by Nick Castellanos to get us to extra innings. Christian Vasquez stays in the game. He's the catcher. Astros have a new pitcher, Luis Garcia. The Phillies are still alive here in game 1. And they've got 2 of their very best hitters up. Garcia against JT Real Muto. And that one not close. His first pitch of this World Series. Ball 1.
Another guy, big strike thrower. Look at the strikeouts. 157 strikeouts and 157 innings. Bounced around, a little bit of a starter. He's kind of one of those guys that go either way. Walk total a little high, 47 walks for those 157 in the 3rd. Another guy with a big power arm.
The 1-0 pitch to the Phillies catcher, Real Muto. Takes a strike, 98. And he got the low strike there. Real Muto, who's seen James Hoy call pitches all night long. Hadn't called many of those a strike. The 1-1. And that one swung on and missed. He chased that hard cutter.
Yeah, Garcia has kind of a unique windup and delivery. Kind of rocks the baby back and forth before he gets started. Use that kind of a little bit of a device for his rhythm and getting his tempo, his delivery. Also throws a little bit of the timing off for the hitters. He'll rock back and forth and then get himself set and deliver.
Bounced another one. 2-2. He credits Justin Verlander. He said early in the year his wind-up motion was a little too slow. And Verlander told him, hey, I think you need to speed that up a little bit. And he wasn't pitching all that well early in the year. And he said that was all it took. It is unusual. 2-2. In the dirt. 3-2.
Yeah, this is a part of the order, too. I think if you're Rob Thompson, you like having Real Muto up. Has a pretty good idea of the strike zone. Very rarely does he chase pitches outside the strike zone. It can be difficult when you're facing high velocity like this Astros bullpen when they're throwing the upper mid or 90s with that hard breaking stuff.
Well, there's a big pitch to make here for Luis Garcia just into the game in the 10th inning. 3-2. Real Muto drives one to right field. Kyle Tucker going back. Kyle Tucker at the wall will leap and it's gone. Up over the wall. JT Real Muto to the opposite field. And the Phillies have their first lead of game 1. 6-5 here in the 10th.
what they do. They just hang around and they hang around. They didn't hang their head. They fell behind 5-0 going into the 4th inning in a battle of the bullpens. The Phillies bullpen right now delivering aces. 3-2 pitch from Garcia to Real Muto. A fastball just out of the reach of Kyle Tucker.
So the Phillies saved the game with a sliding catch in the bottom of the 9th. And the first hitter in the 10th puts the Phillies ahead for the first time. Bryce Harper, first pitch swinging, pulls one sharply foul. The first lead of the game.
It's amazing how the Phillies have turned this around, right? We talked about all season long how poor defensively they were. Nicholas Castellanos comes up with a great catch to end the inning, and then JT Realmuto 2 or 3 feet outside the outstretched arm of Kyle Tucker.
The last catcher to hit an extra inning home run in a World Series game,
Buster Posey.
Carlton Fisk, 1975. That's the last catcher to hit an extra inning World Series home run until now.
It's pretty good company if you're a Real Muto, right?
I would say. 0-2 to Bryce Harper. Garcia. Harper foul tipped it. Just got a piece. Harper's been on base twice, a single, a walk, a run scored, 1 for 3. Well, the Astros, I mean, they've got Alvarez, they've got Bregman, they've got Tucker, they've got their very best hitters lined up for the bottom of this 10th inning. Imperative for Houston to try to hold the line. Now down by a run. Another 0-2 off the outside. And I would imagine that David Robertson is going to be the guy for the bottom of the 10th. Continuing to stay loose out there.
Sir Anthony Dominguez, an inning and 2/3, 24 pitches.
Harper, line drive, base hit, left center field. Behind in the count, 0-2, got it to 1-2, and Harper's got his second hit of the game. Now the Phillies may not be done here in the 10th inning.
You know, it's crazy. This game has so many twists and turns. You and I, Dave, we talked about it. It seemed like as soon as the Phillies tied this thing up at 5, the momentum switch. You just kind of got a feeling that the longer the Phillies hung around, that something was going to happen.
And the guy that deserves a ton of credit for the Phillies even having a chance. And look, his offense has been a part of it, but the play that Nick Castellanos made in the bottom of the 9th to save the game, if they can hang on and win this game, is going to be a play that's remembered for a long time. He's up now with nobody out still. Harper will go back to first.
I mean, this is a terrific play right here. This ball gets by. This is ball game right here. Game over. Sells out. Covers a lot of ground. Makes a great catch.
Timeout. Timeout. Timeout.
So JT Realmuto, first catcher extra inning home run since Carlton Fisk. The first go-ahead home run in the 9th inning or later for a Phillies player in their World Series history. They've never had one of those. Castellanos swings through that cutter slider. Strike 1.
You almost get the feeling now if you're Rob Thompson, you might want to try and push the envelope. You got Harper at first. Garcia a little bit deliberate to home plate. You might want to try and take a chance and maybe steal in the bag if you're Harper.
That one off the foot, maybe off the mound to Altuve. They get one and not in time for the double play. So they still were able to get Harper at second. It's a big out.
Nice play here by Tuve. A little shuffle pass to Pena.
little bit slow developing, not hit hard enough to turn a double play.
Well, here's Alec Bohm. Castellanos over there at first. Rob Thompson could consider a runner for Castellanos. And then ordinarily you would say, and then you get the defensive upgrade for the bottom of the 10th when you lead by a run. But
after the play he made in the ninth,
how do you take him out? Just made a great defensive play. So here's Bohm. Strike one. Alec Bohm has had a heck of a first World Series game. 2-run double in the 4th when the Phillies got back in it, and several 2 or 3 really outstanding defensive plays. Again, way down. Vasquez did about all he could do just to keep it around home plate.
Yeah, about Nick Castellanos. So go back to the game 1 of the NLDS in Atlanta. He makes this great sliding catch that was a game saver, almost identical to the catch he made in the 9th inning.
Bohm, slow roller. Bregman's going to have to hurry. Bare hand pickup. Bregman got him. What a play.
That's about as good as it gets from a third baseman right there. That's do or die. You can ill afford to try to get that with your glove and transfer it. The only play you have. And Bohm runs well for a big guy, so go ahead and try to barehand it. It's a play you work on a lot in spring training. This little topper does a great job, catches it, and throws a strike to Gurriel.
So that was tremendous. On the play, Castellanos moves to second, so another runner in scoring position. The Phillies have gone ahead here in the 10th, and Dusty Baker out with the left-handed hitting shortstop Bryson Stott due up. It'll be a right-hander, Ryan Stanek, coming in out of the Astros bullpen. So Stanek for Garcia, righty for righty. Phillies lead 6-5, top of the 10th. Back right after this. All right, back here at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Ryan Stanek, who had an incredible regular season, set up an Astros reliever record with a 1.15 ERA, and he's hardly pitched in the playoffs. Runner at second, Bryson Stott takes ball 1. Phillies have gone ahead for the first time on a JT Realmuto opposite field home run to start this 10th inning. They were down 5-0. They tied it up. We're in extras, and now Philadelphia ahead. Stanek against the lefty Stott. Swings at that pitch and pops it up third base side. Foul ground. Bregman hustling over, and he will run out of room. Slams into that net. Ball hit the net. It's 1-1. Rob Thompson sticking with Nick Castellanos as that extra run out at second base. And with the big hitters coming up for Houston, that it feels like a big run out there. And Castellanos gets the advantage. 2 outs, he can run on contact. Foul back. 99-mile-an-hour high fastball.
Yeah, Stanek kind of made his name. You get a good look at Yordan Alvarez. Dusty Baker told us before the game he throws a lot better, and he's a better defender than people give him credit for. The plan was to play him in the field and have him tomorrow night more than likely DH to get him off his feet.
Kyle Tucker's got a good arm too if you're thinking about a base hit to the outfield. 1-2 for the shortstop Bryson Stott. The pitch well off the outside. The one blemish for Stanek is he can be wild. He did walk a lot of hitters this year despite that ERA.
Really made his name when he was a member of the Rays. He was that opener that they brought into play in baseball about 4 or 5 years ago. Actually had a bobblehead The Ryan Stanek opener bobblehead, which was a big item in Tampa.
Should have made it a bottle opener giveaway. Pulled on the ground. Foul. Two and two.
It's almost like Kevin Long had a meeting with these hitters in the fourth inning. He said, okay, guys, listen, let's start making these guys throw strikes. We're making it too easy.
2-2. Another take by Bryson Stott, who's seen a ton of pitches in this game. He doesn't have a hit. He's only been on base one time. But he sort of epitomizes what you're talking about. He has battled every time up there. This will be the 30th pitch that he's seen in this game. Full count, 3-2. That's ball four. Takes his second walk. And now you get a guy up there, Gene Segura, who's, I think, one of the Phillies' top choices for a spot like this, where you don't need a home run. You're trying to add on to a 6-5 lead, get the bat on the ball. Gene Segura is the only Phillies hitter who has not reached base safely in this game.
Yeah, Gene can get a little bit wild swinging, but boy, he cuts it down with 2 strikes. Had a big series, really probably the biggest hit of the postseason so far for the Phillies. Broke open that game in St. Louis.
Yeah, their very first playoff game this year. Segura, foul ball straight back. They have a lot of candidates for that award if you're going to give out the biggest playoff hit for the Phillies. And another one tonight, another couple tonight, but especially here in the 10th inning, JT Realmuto. Fouled away. It's 0-2.
Yeah, this is where Gene goes to work right now when he gets to 2 strikes. You got to be really careful if you're Stanek throwing something that's that outer third. Something he could soft serve into right field. You see Kyle Tucker playing pretty deep in right field. Really important right now if you're Castellanos to get a good secondary lead so you can go ahead and try to score on a ball that gets to the outfield grass.
0-2. Segura kind of pops one up. Vasquez, good effort, couldn't get there. Not enough hang time.
Going to look at David Robertson out in the bullpen. Would assume he's going to come in for the bottom of the 10th inning.
He's had a lot of time to think about it. Oh, 2. Segura, little punch shot to third, caught by Bregman for out number 3. So Stanek comes in and limits the damage, but that man, JT Realmuto, who's one of the best players in the game, maybe the best catcher opposite field, home run in extra innings to put Philadelphia ahead. 3 big outs to go, though. This game a long way from being over because the big hitters are coming up. Alvarez, Bregman, and Kyle Tucker is having a monster game when we come back for the bottom of the 10th.
There it goes, the long drive. If it stays fair, home run. We will have a 7th game in this 1975 World Series.
And believe it or not, one of the most famous moments in the history of the game. That's the last time until tonight that a catcher has hit an extra inning home run in a World Series game. JT Realmuto has put the Phillies ahead 6-5, and now the ball goes to David Robertson, who will try to get his first career postseason save. He's had a lot of them in his regular season career, 157 of them. Never had a save in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he was a little shaky Sunday afternoon. Rob Thompson had to come take him out. Struck out the first hitter. Then consecutive walks forced Rob Thompson to bring Ranger Suarez in, who rescued the Phillies. A 2-pitch save, was able to get 2 outs.
And there's no soft landing here for Robertson against the very best hitters that the Astros have to offer. Yordan Alvarez yanks one hard and foul.
I think what you want to do if you're David Robertson right now, you want to try to keep the ball in, make him pull the ball like that. If he wants to hit it, make sure it's in off the plate and soft, that he can't keep it fair. You want to stay away from the down and away. His fastball really isn't good enough to throw it by him down and away. Like to see him try to keep him and crowd him, keep the ball down and keep it in soft.
0-1. Alvarez down the left field line, didn't hit it hard, right in on his hands. Strike 2.
You just kind of get the feeling that the Phillies, there's some magic going on in this edition of the 2022 Phillies. One of the last teams to make it in. They had a tough road to beat the Cardinals, then the Braves, then to knock off the Padres. They just keep finding ways to win.
0-2. Robertson. Alvarez fouled it back. That is a dangerous spot against Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, one good thing though, if you're the Phillies right now, he looks like he feels pretty comfortable in his delivery and throwing strikes. Sunday he was all over the place. Lost his release point, was flipping the breaking balls and were backing up. Looks much more comfortable in his delivery.
Trying to finish off a Game 1 win for the Phillies. 0-2. Just outside with the curve. Phillies also did make a defensive change. Edmundo Sosa is now in to play third. Alan Colm had a really good defensive game, but Sosa is great. Alvarez stays alive.
Pretty gutsy pitch right there. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, outer third. JT Realmuto wanted that one a little bit more up. See, he wants it about mask high. Ends up about belt high. Not a bad place to go if he can elevate that a little bit more. There aren't very few holes in this guy's swing, but one of them, if you have enough juice, you can get the ball about letter high, and he'll chase it.
Time. Alvarez steps out. Well, in the Astros' very first postseason game this year, they were down to their final out. And Yordan Alvarez walked it off. Can't walk it off here. 1-2. Got him swinging. In the dirty chase for out number 1.
Boy, that is a big out for David Robertson and the Phillies. Not that it gets any easier with Bregman and Tucker back to back, but just from a psychological standpoint for David Robertson, you get away from that big guy in Alvarez. Huge out for the Phillies.
Huge.
Couple of fastballs up in the zone. Force Alvarez. He felt like he was a tad late, so you speed him up to slow him down with a curveball, and a good one.
Yordan Alvarez hitless 0 for 4 with a walk. Here's Bregman. Swings at that first pitch curve. Strike 1.
Another good breaking ball from Robertson. That's a really good sign if you're the Phillies right now. Going into this bullpen, it kind of felt like the circle of trust was around Alvarado with Sir Anthony Dominguez. But they've gotten some really good work. Zach Eflin, inning of the third, scoreless. Ranger Suarez, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Bregman had a little meeting with himself. Now back in the batter's box.
Ball.
1-1. Astros have not lost a game yet in this postseason, and they sure weren't thinking tonight was going to be a loss in the first few innings. Bregman pulled it foul. 1-2.
You can almost tell that a little bit of frustration there. Bregman way out in front of that breaking ball. It's almost like they're waiting for the chance to get the fastball, and David Robertson hasn't thrown one yet. And the fastballs he has thrown have been up out of the zone where the Astros haven't been able to do much with it. I'd just be careful. I were Robertson here trying to get the ball in on this guy. He's very quick inner third.
The 1-2. Bregman pulls it to left. Schwarber back in front of that big wall. Jumps and he can't catch it. It's off the wall. And Alex Bregman's going to be into second, the tying run in scoring position with one out.
Really good job there by Bregman. He was fooled on a breaking ball from Robertson. The pitch before that, he was way out front. He was out front of this one too, but he's so strong he just one arms it. Just out of the reach of Kyle Schwarber.
A good effort by Schwarber. If he plays it conservatively and plays for the carom, I'm not sure he can hold Bregman to a single anyway.
Now that was a double pretty much right off the bat.
So now Kyle Tucker, tying run in scoring position, and the winning run in the batter's box. A guy who's already hit 2 home runs tonight. Robertson pitches.
Ball.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of going ahead and putting that go-ahead run at first base, but if I'm David Robertson right now, you've got to really be careful with a guy. Even though you've got Gurriel on deck, who's a good hitter, he doesn't run all that well. You've got a shot of Gurriel potentially hitting into a double play ball, but you just don't want to groove something here for Tucker, who's swinging the bat well.
Tucker swings right over top that curveball, strike one.
Yeah, this is as good a curveball as David Robertson's had quite a while. Seems like the Astros hitters, they're up there trying to hunt a fastball, and he's not cooperating.
Bregman, the tying run at second base, one out, 10th inning. Tucker pulls it foul. Almost shades. You remember Lance McCullers just in the playoffs, one curveball after another. What do you throw, 24 in a row?
And if you're David Robertson right now, you just have to continue. If that's what you feel good about, he's spinning it. There haven't been very many swings that we've seen through 3 hitters that they're on the breaking ball. He's kind of using the fastball as a decoy to go back to the breaker.
One and two.
Timeout.
There's the decoy fastball.
Sure, in a perfect world right now, if he could muster up another backdoor breaking ball, get on top of one of those curveballs, and hope that he can get Tucker to swing over the top of it.
The 2-2. Tucker strikes out swinging. He threw that curve in the dirt. Real Muto will throw to first to get the put out. And now the Astros are down to their final out here in game 1.
Just a terrific sequences of pitches by David Robertson right there. He's got the curveball, and it's a good one tonight. The fastball, as you touched on, Dave, he's using it as a decoy. And he buries this one at the back foot. Just a terrific breaking pitch.
So Tucker, who's had the monster game, not this time. Now Yuli Gurriel, who does have 2 hits, both singles, 2 for 4. Strike one.
Pretty good fastball, 92 down in the zone. Have to give credit where credit's due. Rob Thompson has pushed all the right buttons.
He needs one more button. One out away from stealing game 1 here on the road against this powerful Houston team. The 0-1.
Ball.
And all the star power for the Astros, but in a spot where all you need is a base hit. And not many that they'd rather have at the plate, Houston, than this guy.
Uses the entire field, puts the ball in play. Bat the ball skills.
The 1-1. Well off the outside. We got Trey Mancini due up next, but Aledmys Diaz has come into the on-deck circle. It's been a tough night for Mancini. So if Gurriel can keep the game going, it'll be Diaz. Two-1. 3-1.
I'd be surprised right here. Another breaking ball. You have a base open. You've got a guy coming up that hasn't swung a bat all night, coming off cold off the bench. Be very careful if you're David Robertson right here. Base open. If he wants to chase a breaking ball, great. If not, you put him on. You get him to the first base and the intentional walk.
3-1. Way outside, ball 4. So Gurriel draws the walk. Once he fell behind, it didn't look like he wanted a whole lot to do with Yuli Gurriel.
I think that was a smart move. It's awfully tough to come off the bench cold if you're Diaz. You've sat and watched 10 innings of baseball. Now you just want to make sure you get together with JT Realmuto. You go through a scouting report on Aledmys Diaz, what his tendencies are. Is he a first pitch swinger? Does he hit the breaking ball? Where can we go when we get into trouble? All those things you try to factor in before you throw this first pitch.
It really is incredible. The Astros have played so well in the playoffs and gotten basically nothing from the DH spot. This is the DH spot here. And they need something from Aledmys Diaz to keep this game going.
You know, they were hoping that remedy at the trade deadline was going to be Trey Mancini. They were hoping he was going to be that guy, and it just hasn't been. He's had a miserable postseason. Hitless tonight. Kind of forced Dusty Baker's hand. Mancini was 0 for 4 going into this at bat.
All right, meeting over. That Kirk Gibson home run where he showed you the last pinch hit walk-off home run in the World Series. Maybe Diaz could limp around the bases if he does it. First pitch, and it gets away from Realmuto. The curveball spiked in the dirt, and now that intentional walk has turned into the winning run in scoring position. That's big.
Yeah, that's a big 90 feet for both base runners. Now you have to really be on your toes. Robertson's had that good curveball, but he just spikes this one into the ground, and Realmuto tries to backhand stab it and try to get in front of it and knock it down.
Took a crazy bounce. I don't know if it hit the corner of the plate. The 1-0. That one almost hit him. Curveball, not even close, and Diaz somehow avoided getting hit. 2-0.
All of a sudden now it kind of feels like some of the wires are crossed a little bit with David Robertson. Kind of having some flashbacks to that 9th inning on Sunday afternoon where home plate started to move around on him.
2-0. And that one does hit him. And Diaz, yeah, they're not going to let him go. And I think that's the right call. He leaned into that one so far out over the plate. I mean, it takes some guts to make that call. But James Hoy is saying you don't get to go to first. I mean, you could see it from up here. He leaned right into that curveball.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a really good call, Dave.
Stuck that elbow out. James Hoy, a little quick message for David Robertson. That you don't see very often. Diaz swings and misses over top that curveball. Astros down to their final out. Diaz on the ground to third. Sosa just in the game has it. Throws to first, and the Phillies steal game one here in Houston and give the Astros their first playoff loss in 2022. A stunning come from behind win, the biggest comeback victory in a game one in World Series history.
This game had so many heroes. If you're a fan of the Philadelphia Phillies, Nick Castellanos, a game-saving catch in the ninth. David Robertson, Real Muto home run. So many heroes, and the Phillies continue to just shock the baseball world.
It's an amazing story. A team that just will not die. A team that limped into the playoffs. And a team that beat the Astros on October 3rd to clinch a playoff berth last week of the regular season. That was the last time the Astros had lost a baseball game until tonight.
I mean, it's incredible. Down 5-0 against more than likely the 2022 AL Cy Young Award winner in Justin Verlander. We talked about it in the open. Here's another look at Diaz, the ground ball to third base. And just like that, the Phillies jump out to a quick 1-0 lead. Defensive replacement. Sosa comes in over to Rhys Hoskins, and David Robertson loving it.
Just incredible. This Philadelphia Phillies story, now 3 wins away from a world championship against a powerhouse Astros team, against one of the all-time greats, Justin Verlander, down 5-0. A 3-run rally, then a 2-run rally to tie, and then the extra inning home run from JT Real Muto to put the Phillies ahead for the first time all night, and they hang on and win game one.